Hello, my name is Morgan Gray, and welcome back to the Afrocentric podcast.
Almighty God, I ask that you be with each and every one of our brothers and sisters that's lost, that's found, that's incarcerated, that's free. I pray that you bring our loved ones home, immediate release. Visitation at the prison on the list, I'm rocking bling. Name ring, they know my face, it ain't no need to CID. Used to pull up foreign, park the whip and hop out VIP. Lawyer told me cause of COVID, I can't come inside the beam. What you mean? God answers prayers, be back quicker than you think. Ain't it a trip, how time fly by quicker than you blink. Just roll through our ghetto, it ain't like it used to be. Everybody on that H and my little baby selling D. Shit they saying on that internet, you know you can't believe. These little niggas guns be wild fine, they terrified of beef. Any moment we can wild out and get them put to sleep. Well connected, no I'm Wi-Fi, I'm really in the street. Do you remember I was bad off on a lean, no longer drink, put down the bottle. Lick Kevin Gates on Carolina, next door to Miss Connie. Got customers that come for weight, I distribute narcotics. Used to bump the hip, re-rock and shake, I'm cooking in the bottom. Nowadays I rock the stage and make them move they back. From my way back.
We don't funk with racism. We don't funk with people who don't support the LGBTQ plus community. And baby, we damn sure don't funk with anybody who don't love a beautiful black queen, baby. You see this tape?
When they go low, I go low.
You don't let nobody act black and then go home and be white.
I got 2 pistols and a pit bull. Me. That's all I need.
It only takes a little bit of white brainwash to activate the coon chip in the average Negro.
You think Harriet Tubman was walking around with a fucking nice shiny fucking dress on with a fucking crown on her head when she was taking slaves to freedom?
And a lot of white folk have demonstrated eloquently that they don't have no sense.
And we are back with the Afrocentric podcast. The title of this episode is Chained to the City. Now, I have been struggling. It took me a long time to get here, y'all. I had a complete flat tire, but we made it here, and I feel like there was a delay in this travel to the beautiful Kansas, Mississippi, because the devil didn't want this information to get out. I'm excited. We're going to have a very deep and heavy-hitting conversation with Mr. Davis. I'm going to let him introduce himself to y'all, and then we're going to get into the details of the episode. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rasheid Davis. By way of originally Mississippi, represent Kansas, Mississippi. I'm a local business owner here. I own a barbershop and a local lounge, I want to say, historic lounge here in Kansas, Mississippi. And I'm also a member of the Chinese Collective in the SPLC Afrocentric.
Yeah, Rasheid is a fire-ass barber. And you want to go ahead and shout out your business?
Yes, my business headed a class at 302 Northwest Street here in Kansas, Mississippi.
Yeah, all right. Shout out to y'all. All right, so in this episode, we will be exploring the idea really of the justice system, the realities of life behind bars. So in this episode, Rasheid is going to be talking about his story and his experience, about how his upbringing and his environment led him down a path that resulted in his incarceration. In this episode, we are going to be dispelling the romanticization and the glorification of jail life in pop culture. And through this episode, we will be providing a very candid look on how the day-to-day realities of being incarcerated often offers a really sensational portrayal of life in jail. So I'm really excited. I hope that a lot of people get the opportunity to hear this conversation as well as learn something from it. Before we jump into the next segment, is there something you'd like to say?
Well, no, let's get started. I'm ready to get started.
For sure. I'm excited too.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Ooh. Short case! Damn
right, now here at the Afrocentric podcast, we love to play a beautiful game. In fact, it's America's favorite game, and it is entitled Fight, Marry, Kill, African American Edition. Now, for those who do not know, in this game, which is a classic twist on the classic game Fuck, Marry, Kill, I will be presenting Rasheid with a common list of African American household names, and in this game he will have to choose whether he wants to fight them, whether he would like to marry them, or if he would like to kill them. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right, Rasheid, fight, marry, kill. 50 Cent, Ida B. Wells Barnett, Queen Latifah. Fight, marry, kill.
Fight, marry, kill. Oh boy. So first of all, my man.
Uh-huh.
And I ain't gonna throw it out there, won't be hitting on no women.
That's powerful there. Yeah, that's powerful there.
So I'm gonna knock 50 Cent out.
You think you can handle 50, Curtis?
I'm gonna have to. I got it fighting.
You think you gonna win?
Yeah.
You think you gonna beat Curtis?
Yeah, you gotta be a skilled fighter, yeah.
You could throw down like that.
Well, yeah, I ain't lost now yet.
No, I'm scared of you. I love to see. I'd like to see it. I would love to see that. All right, so you've decided that you will be fighting 50 Cent. Are you going to marry or kill Ida B. Wells Barnett or Queen Latifah?
Oh, hold up. Let me go back on that. Well, I ain't finna kill no woman. I didn't want to hit a woman, but you definitely damn sure ain't gonna kill her. 50 Cent, you dead. Okay. So, let's see here. I'd rather fight Queen Latifah because she's more of a, kind of a mannish woman, I think she like women, so I think it'll be a good little tussle. I would fight. I just wouldn't physically hit her, but I wrestle with her.
It's powerful. She do be bumping purses and such, pocketbooks and such.
Right. And we say Ida B. Wells.
Yeah, Barnett.
I had to marry her.
Yeah, she a nice young lady. Yeah, she look like she could cook too, Miss Ida, and she'll fight for your rights.
Right. That's an old school woman, so I know I win with that.
I'm talking about them the bitches that niggas be looking for now. She rub your back and pack your lunch and do all the shit, cooking and cleaning. I love that.
Right.
All right, now you said that you was gonna kill 50 Cent. What weapon would you use to kill 50 Cent?
I shoot. I wouldn't let him. I wouldn't want him to suffer.
That's nice. Okay, so you doing sniper shot style? Or you gonna walk down on Curtis?
Let me walk down on. I think that's more
respectable.
Yeah, that's more respectable.
I think he would respect that too. I do. Right. Well, thank you so much for playing this game, America's favorite game, Fight, Marry, Kill, African American Edition.
The prison population in the United States was largely flat throughout most of the 20th century. It didn't go up a lot, it didn't come down a lot. But that changed in the 1970s. And in the 1970s, we began an era which has been defined by this term, mass incarceration.
This is a nation of laws, and as Abraham Lincoln has said, no one is above the law, no one is below the law, and we're going to enforce the law, and Americans should remember that if we're going to have law.
Breaking rocks out here on the chain gang, breaking rocks and serving my time. Breaking rocks out here on the chain gang, cause I've been convicted of crime. I hold it steady right there while I hit it.
Each moment in history is a fleeting time, precious and unique. But some stand out as moments of beginning, in which courses are set that shape decades or centuries. This can be such a moment.
It's with the Nixon era and the law and order period when crime begins to stand in for race.
If there is one area where the word war is appropriate, it is in the fight against crime.
Part of what he talked about was a war on crime, but that was one of those code words, what we might call dog whistle politics now, which really was referring to the black political movements of the day, Black Power, Black Panthers, the anti-war movement, movements for women's liberation and gay liberation at that time, which Nixon felt compelled to fight back against.
Once the federal government, through the FBI, moves into an area, this should be warning to those who engage in these acts that they eventually are going to be apprehended.
There's this outcry for law and order, and Nixon becomes the person who articulates that perfectly.
There can be no progress in America without respect for law.
Many people felt like we were losing control.
We need total war in the United States against the evils that we see in our cities.
Federal spending for local law enforcement will double.
Time is running out for the merchants of crime and corruption in American society. The wave of crime is not going to be the wave of the future in the United States of America.
We must wage what I have called total war against public enemy number one in the United States, the problem of dangerous drugs.
A war on drugs, and that utterance gave birth to this era where we decided to deal with drug addiction and drug dependency as a crime issue rather than a health issue. Hundreds of thousands of people were being sent to jails and prisons for simple possession of marijuana, for low-level offenses.
America's public enemy number one in the United States is drug abuse. In order to fight and defeat this enemy, it is necessary to wage a new all-out offensive.
All right, so question number 1. Can you share a bit about your personal background and what led you to the experience that you had with the criminal justice system?
Okay. Well, I'll start from the beginning. We moved here from Chicago, Illinois. So I was kind of more accustomed to a city life. The moving here in Canton, Mississippi was more kind of more, you know, like a country kind of life, more kind of slow. It's a little small town, maybe 13,000 people. And when we came here, you know, it was kind of, you know, in that era when it was you know, crack was just hitting really in the late 80s or whatever like that. But we also enjoyed the early 80s where there was not, you know, that crack era came in. So when that crack era, you know, just being honest, when that era was in, it wasn't like we was doing anything wrong because everybody was doing. And I think like 95, we had a more community policing going on around here. So if you wasn't robbing and killing and taking and doing anything like that, which we as citizens of Canton, then we would protect the neighborhood. Like, we couldn't find out that somebody was breaking into old people's house or, you know, breaking into people's stuff. We would go out, you know, and find out who did it.
Which, when y'all found out who did what did y'all do?
A lot of times we wanted the items back. 9 times out of 10, we wanted the items back to give whoever items they were back.
When you did stuff like that, were majority of those people, were they strung out on drugs?
No, actually, when the crack era was going, yes, you know, a lot of people breaking into stuff. So we was kind of, you know, we would be up all night anyway. So we would, you know, we basically would be watching everything. So people didn't, we used to call the USA up all night. So we didn't go to sleep. So we would know who was, you know, moving back and forth through the neighborhood, you know, who's still, and then, you know, 9 times out of 10, like you said, they're doing the crack epidemic. So crackheads, they're gonna go sell it somewhere locally. They're not gonna go and fuck with it. Yeah, so it was easy to find out, you know, what the items were.
Real.
Yeah.
You know, when you talk about community policing, for real, this shit really remind me of like the Black Panther Party, specifically like the new Black Panther Party. That is exactly what they do, because that's what they do. They protect and serve. So it'll be times where motherfuckers would be on shift for like 24 hours and they completely make sure that everything's straight, especially when it's like political unrest. Like during the last Donald Trump election, the new Black Panther Party was on watch for like 48 hours, making sure that nothing happened. But when it comes to like community policing as a whole, I think that shit is so fire, because that is something that both Black communities as well as white communities participate in, especially when those white communities are impoverished communities. They would rather settle things within their communities one-on-one, because they know the people within the community, than to call the police, because both communities have a general distrust and disdain for the police. You can continue.
Yes, right. Which all of what you said was absolutely true. And then that's why I said in the era, I think like 95 or something, we went from community policing to where we had you start having the police come through. We had white narcotic agents, the Black narcotic agents knew everybody, and they taught the white narcotic agents, all the different guys up in the neighborhood and stuff like that. And then once they did that, they kind of moved the Black ones out of the way, and then we only had the white ones, and then the white ones didn't care about nothing. Because they didn't know you or whatever like that, so they didn't understand that we didn't understand or felt like we were doing anything, wrong, because we wasn't robbing, killing, and shooting.
Hell yeah, I know what you're saying. And you know what? That is something that a lot of people advocate when they talk about like placing police officers in these communities, because you're completely right. They don't have an understanding of the community, who is in the community, who has mental health issues and who does not. And they also don't have emotional ties. So if they just go based off of their training, quote unquote, because I use that word very loosely, because they also don't have like the emotional intelligence to be able to be in those communities, like disastrous shit will happen, will ensue. Which is why, like, when I think of policing, the only compliment I give is like probably like Memphis. Like Memphis, those men oftentimes come from their community, so they know those people in there. Their police force is Black.
Right.
So it's just a thought.
We would get out of the cars. We would walk up to the scene. Those who had rifles would carry them in the open, clearly visible.
We would stand at a distance where the police couldn't say they were interfering with their arrest or their detention of the individual, and make sure that there was no brutality.
We stood back with our weapons ready to throw down if necessary.
Once the, like I said, once the other narcotic agents started coming through, it was like a field day on us. We went from running our neighborhood. We felt like we'd run our neighborhood to running from the police. And then it was like every year they would issue out what we call cell charges.
What's that?
Well, they would basically go and they would catch someone else with maybe like catch someone with something, and then they would have him go buy from different people that he know in the community, and then they would all give all those people charges, which the charge that the person that that they using it might have been a misdemeanor. And they tell them, hey, you're going to jail for 10 years and you're going to do this and do that. Like they playing judge. And then next thing you know, he's getting scared. His mom come down there, tell him, hey, you need to tell him whatever, and there it is. And then you got 20, they might go out and get like 10, 15 people, in the community.
Round them up, get them scared, lie to them, and then they get the snitching, and then they start gathering more bodies.
Right. And a lot of people, just to be honest, a lot of people, the crimes that they were saying he was committing, you didn't know if you did the crimes or not, because most of us took plea bargain without ever seeing the evidence.
Did y'all even get offered like a lawyer or anything?
Yeah, basically you can get a appointed lawyer. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to request it though, don't you?
No, they're granted one by the state every time you have a felony charge.
That's real. That's real. So how did you get caught up in all of this? Like,
to be honest, I was a young man. I was taking care of my family, and to be honest, it was just like marijuana. I never, during the crack era, I found out one of my friends. I was serving his mother and his father, and I never ever paid attention to what I was doing because, like I said, everybody was doing it. And my friend, one day when I was handing it to his mom, and his dad was standing there, and I looked over at him, and he dropped his head, you know, like his feelings were hurt. I was like, "Dang, this is my friend." And I looked at him, I was like, "Man," and I realized what I was doing, and I stopped selling, you know, like packing anything like that right there. So I just like moved over to like little small little level, like we just messed around with weed, just keep, you know what I'm saying, keep a little money in your pocket, whatever like that. So, like I said, it was friends of mine that actually, you know, set me up.
Really?
Yeah.
That shit's so heartbreaking.
Right. Actually, friends of mine.
No, I'm knowing exactly what you're saying. Like, okay, my question to you is like, when you were going through this whole process, how did you like mentally deal with that type of betrayal? Like, there's a lot to go through, because I know some shit like that would break my fucking heart.
To be honest, I'm gonna tell you this. The Bible, you know, helped me. I'm just gonna be honest, because I was mad as hell, man. I did like 6 years, and I was mad, man. I was real mad, and once I got into my Bible, to be honest, I learned that if I want to be forgiven for the things that I have done, I should forgive the people that have wrongly done things against me. So when I did that, and I felt that way, it released it released a lot off of my back till I wasn't, you know, mad anymore. I wasn't, you know, I just wanted to better myself.
How long did it take you to get from being angry to no longer being angry? How long did it take you to process that?
Just being honest, let me see. I mean, because I know, like, that first year I was like
angry, and
like,
I understand that.
Yeah, because you know what a lot of people don't understand is you lose a lot by, you know, going to the penitentiary. And my girlfriend was getting married to one of the guys that I knew, you know what I'm saying? It was a lot going on. My partners had set me up, you know what I'm saying? I was really angry. And with that anger, I think at first, because I supposed to have this, you know, this how these justice system work. I supposed to did like 1 year, they gave me like judicial review. And my attorney, so I'm waiting on it, you know, a year went by, I hadn't did anything wrong, caught in the RVRs or anything like that, and rule violation reports. That's what RVR is. And they never even said anything. Like, they didn't even give me juice. I never got called back, so I was devastated. And I had to do like 4 or 5 more years after that. I was like, I thought I was like getting out in a year, and it didn't happen. And you know, so it took me, I'm gonna say like about that second year. After I got around a lot of, just being honest, I got a lot of guys that have did like
long
time, 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
They were like, man, just be happy, you know, that you going home. You got a day to go home. So and my mom was, you know, my support system.
When I listen to like Charleston White, very, you know, controversial figure, a lot of times he often talks about like black men when they go to prison. He says that it takes them going to jail to be able to like get their mental health together or want to pursue something different. Like,
American prison system has been one of the greatest tools used to preserve black life and to build strong black, law-abiding, pro-social black men. I recommend prison or the military. I don't recommend college. I believe all black boys coming out of inner city should spend at least 2 years in prison or 4 years in the military. You pick, but you're going to one.
Why though? Why?
For one, it teaches discipline, because most black boys don't have self-discipline. They don't have self-will. They don't have emotional discipline. They don't have any training. They don't have any skills. They can't read. They don't know how to physically strengthen their bodies. And prison and the military teaches all this.
How true is that statement, and what examples have you seen of that?
Well, it's very true, because how the penitentiary works is, it's just like, okay, you get up in the morning, it's like, it can help you or you can fight against it. Okay, you get up in the morning, brush your teeth, you wash your face, you get up, eat your breakfast, you get ready to go to work, you go to work, You catch your lunch break, you get off lunch break, you might try to catch you a little, little nap or something, what I'm saying, get back on work, come back in, you take a bath, you watch a little TV, you go to sleep, you do the same thing over again. So that's really just training a person in real life to do the same thing. Just go out, work, and then come home. And then when a man applies those rules and principles to his life will get better.
Because it's structure.
Yeah.
It's most definitely is. I do see a lot of positive things coming out of the prisons. I do like seeing like the prison choirs. I think them motherfuckers is so fire.
Guns in church. The abomination that causes desolation.
Guns ain't allowed? Somebody should have told me. Hey, big guy. What's your name? Oh.
My name is Johnson.
What are you in for?
Beating down somebody for making fun of my high voice.
Okay, so let's take it from the top, shall we? Our felons first? Up, please. Up. Okay,
Gonna lay down my burdens.
Mr. Briggs, is there a problem?
It's one thing for the state to force us to make license plates or work to make us sing in the choir. That's cruel and unusual punishment.
Mr. Johnson?
I used to be in a group, and when we used to sing down by the riverside, there's a part of the song where I used to wail, right at the end with the sword and shield part. People really like that. Would you like me to do that for you?
All right. What group did you sing with?
Doesn't matter. They're dead now.
Right. Okay.
And now, news time. The Beulah Baptist Church Choir now includes some talented inmates from our state prison system. This could turn out to be the breakout choir of the year.
I love seeing the prison choirs. They be singing their hearts out for Jesus, for Allah, for all them. I also like the fact that black men can get trades while they're in jail. I think that is very honorable, something that'll help you when you get ready to get out. I just think that it's very sad that it takes like the taking away of your freedom in order for you to realize something like that, which is like a personal rule of mine. I always want to be the person that heeds somebody warning and advice instead of trying to be the person that learns the hard way. So like, what are your thoughts on that?
I like for real, like a lot of people don't have structure in the home. So a young man coming up and just being honest, I'm gonna show you something, just being real. That's why I like to take things back to that crack era. Before the crack era, man, we all had dreams of becoming 15 and getting that first job, you know what I mean? And just being independent, and making your own money. But by the time I was 15 years old, nobody wanted a job working no fucking $7. And you know what I'm saying? This shit's booming, you know what I'm saying? So it took that away from us. So a lot of us didn't learn that, to get out, go get you a job. Like me, I really I really never had a job. Like I worked 2 jobs. Yes, I have. Well, I worked as a security job.
Real.
And I worked at a detail shop. I worked at a detail shop with this for this black guy. Every job I had was just working for a black guy. I never worked a job, been on the job. Yeah, I always I've been cutting hair since I was like 12 years old.
It's fine too. I like that. I guess we're done with this question. Is there anything else is there anything you would like to say? Is it attest to like your experiences and how you ended up like intermingling with the criminal justice system?
Well, the criminal justice system, I think I maybe like 15 years old or something like that. I got arrested for something I didn't do. Guy said I had upped the gun on him or something. The police came. I was drunk. We was arguing, and I was drunk, and man, they took me to jail. Took me to jail for like 5 days or something like that. My mom didn't know where I was, and nobody know where I was because I was staying in Jackson, but I was in Canton with my cousin and them, and it did something to me, just being real. It did.
You feel like it broke something in you?
I'm not gonna say that it burst like a criminal or something like that right there because it didn't, but I had never been to jail before.
That's real.
And to be in jail, a kid, I was only like 15 years old, to be in jail, for 5 days and nobody know yet. I didn't even change clothes or nothing up in there because they had me up in the city jail. So I didn't like change clothes or bathe or anything. So that was hard on me,
I know it was. I've never been to jail. I've never been arrested, but I have been detained. And that alone, and I know that's very small compared to what a lot of people have done, but I'm a nice young lady.
Right.
I don't see myself in a situation like that. But just being in handcuffs, it's like I felt like my freedom was depleting from my body.
Right.
Like this, like a very, very scary and surreal feeling. So like I know what type of trauma that creates, as well as what type of PTSD that would create. Like,
because it does to prison, and I'm just gonna be like to your mental health. It does something to you. I never forget that. I'm talking about. It ain't a day that they go by that I don't think about that.
Yes, I can only imagine.
Right.
So Nixon's Southern strategy was implemented right after the Civil Rights Movement. He played on fear of crime and law and order to win the election easily. Reagan promised tax cuts to the rich and to throw all the crack users in jail, both of which devastated communities of color, but were effective in getting the Southern vote.
There's really no understanding of our American political culture without race at the center of it.
And in 1981, just before Reagan assumed the presidency, his campaign strategist Lee Atwater was caught on tape explaining the Southern strategy.
In other words, you start out, and now y'all aren't quoting me. All right, I won't hear it. You start out in 1968, you can't say backfire, so you say stuff like forced busing, states' rights, and all that stuff. And you're getting so abstract now, you're talking about cutting taxes, and all of these things you're talking about are totally economic things, and the byproduct of them is blacks get hurt worse than white.
How accurate or realistic are the depictions of jail life that are often portrayed in media or in music or in entertainment?
I'm just gonna be real. Like, a lot of it is not real at all, and a lot of it is right on time. Jail is a different world. You know what I mean? Prison, it's a difference. Let me break it down to you. Okay. You have the county jail, which a lot of people, that's when you first go into jail or whatever like that. Okay, then you got the penitentiary. There's only 3 penitentiaries in Mississippi. There's Parchman, and there's Rankin County, and then you got Greene County.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is a satellite or is a regional facility. So those facilities, like regional facilities, like being locked up in a county jail. And then and also like a private facility too, is kind of like being locked up in a county jail. But when you are in a penitentiary, it's a different world because, I'm just being real. It's like a different world. You in the penitentiary, people die in the penitentiary. The people get killed. It's like it's a step up from the county jail. So anytime you in the what's name is more what we call laid back. So when I'm in a laid back facility, there's not too much going on. There's not too much fighting going on. Guys don't want to get jacked away from the facility. They've been there for a long time, and then a lot of time violence goes on in private and brief. But in the penitentiary, it's a different ball game. Like when I was in Parchman, let me see, I don't know how many people they had up there at the time, maybe 5,000 people or something like that. 4,000 or 5,000 people. But I went from, it's levels to it. We like A custody, B custody, C custody, and D custody. I've started with A custody, which is a good custody. You're starting up at the top. A out is like when you see people with, the satellite with the green pants on, just working out in the world and stuff like that.
The niggas that be picking up trash
and stuff like that, right? So those are people that, have had good behavior. They have just a small amount of time and stuff like that right there. Because you had to be on good behavior to be there. You had to not have an RBR within 6 months or be,
violent
on your time. It can be a violent crime, but you had to be, when it's a violent crime, you had to be less than like 2 years to going home.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they can put you in that situation. Okay, and then you got what we call a restricted. I mean, you got green pants on, but you can't be anywhere where there's not going to be a police officer. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be one of the officers from the inside of the prison. And then you got B. Well, B, you can work a job, but you kind of, every doors are locked. You know what I mean? You're not walking around freely. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be doing that. And then you got C custody, which is lockdown. It's a step away from C custody. You just have a lot of things restricted. You don't get a visit. You're not getting a visit. You can get your canteen, you can get stuff like that. But when you're in D custody, that's the red. Those are more dangerous, harsh criminals.
What's considered dangerous or harsh?
People that's in there that, a lot of people up in there, they, jail is stressful. When he come out of that hole, your gang member, you get that knife on him. You get, you can stab somebody else. He don't care. You got so much time. He ain't. You got, like I said, it's a different world. It's like it's a world you can't leave. Let me break it down to you. In the inside, you have to break it down much simpler. You have vice lords. You have gangsters in every branch up under that. Then you're gonna have the Christians, which the Christians in the inside is almost like a gang. They got their own thing going on.
You know what? You are absolutely right. So like I seen a report about a lot of like white gangs within prisons and stuff, and a lot of them are rooted in Christianity ideology. So yeah.
Yeah, all of them are actually like skinheads. All of them are.
I had one of them I heard about out in California. I think they call the brothers, the like
Aryan
some type
brotherhood.
1950s. It's segregated still, and if you're white, like I said, you can either fucking be a shark, you can be a seal, you can be at the top of the food chain, or you can fucking be at the bottom. And I like being at the top. But it really, it's...
What does that mean to be
it just
head of the Aryan Brotherhood in jail, or in prison?
And I'm not even really, I'm not racist, I had swastikas on me and I took them off. And it's just, when you're in prison in Oklahoma, you have to eat with your race. You have to spend time with your race. If you have to do any type of business with your race. And if you don't, it's frowned upon. And I didn't even plan on patching out. I was just going to go in there. I had 5 years to do no matter what. I had a 5 violent, and allegedly I took a cell phone out of a girl's hand that was contacting the police. And so I was charged with first-degree robbery. And so they gave me 5 years. And
for stealing a cell phone?
Yeah. Yeah, in the state of Oklahoma, if you induce force or fear onto anybody, they consider that robbery. And I was in the small town of Sapulpa, and I mean, I didn't have money. I didn't have money for a big time attorney. And so when you have a public defender, you pretty much get stuck with what you got, And when I went into prison, I knew I had, no matter what, I had to do 5 years. Whether I took every fucking class there was, no matter what, I had to do 5. And I was scared to death. I mean, I went into prison at 190 and I discharged at 270. And I mean, it's all fake, man. All these tattoos, man. I'm not no hard ass. You know what I mean? I'm not no mean person. This is all just fucking, it's just fake, man. Just like, I mean, everything in my life, dude, I'm in complete denial. Like I think every day I got this shit under control and I ain't got a goddamn thing. I slept in a fucking tent last night.
What's your drug?
Fentanyl. And I've been doing meth since I was 15. But the fentanyl just started about 6 months ago. And it's dangerous. I was, like I said, I was 30 days clean and I hit it last night and I almost overdosed. And man, to be honest with you, I kind of in a way just wish I fucking would have, you know? I mean, I'm just broken. I mean, and I can't get mad at nobody but myself, but I don't know what it is, man. Being an addict, I think I have it and I don't, you know what I mean? And I'm tired of getting high. I'm tired of not having shit. I'm tired of fucking being a loser. And I'm tired of not being a man and my old lady looking at me and with all of her fucking luggage with her and everything, and I can't even support us.
Yes, yeah. And they like almost like skinheads, but it's based off Christianity.
That's basically what, you know.
It's a branch of the skinheads.
Mm-hmm. Right. And they just don't, all of them are not just bald headed, you know what I'm saying? But in the inside, how that works is, when I was in Parchment, I'm gonna show you how this is structured. They had this camp called Camp 10, so we moved from in the front camp. I was working at the visitation center in the front. I had a good job, and we had to move to the back. So in the back, we was located with everybody that was working with maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, this was a whole nother world inside the penitentiary that I didn't know about. I'll show you some real shit, man. They had like AC in the camp, like everybody sweating all over, pouring mosquito biting, man. You motherfuckers laid up with fucking AC up in the camp. I'm talking about blowing cold in the summertime. We got 2 blankets on the bed, shit. We, you know, over there at the camp, they got like video games and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, they having the time of their life.
Right. And I'm like, man, what the, you know, I'm like, what the fuck is going on over here? But these are the white guys, you know what I'm saying, that work on the maintenance. So, you know, we want to move drugs around, you know what I'm saying, the guys at maintenance, you know what I'm saying? They white boys. So they got them other white officers that come out and get them. They take them wherever they need to go to do whatever they need to do without getting searched. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So they got, you know, it's privilege in there.
An example of white privilege within
right.
jails.
Within jails.
And it's completely believable.
Right.
It's completely believable.
That's what.
Well, that sounds about white.
That's right.
It does.
Why I say that's how it's structured. You know what I'm saying?
You know, what's crazy is like, especially for me, and when we're talking about the romanticization of like jails as well as how it's depicted in the media, when I go around a lot of black men, they often watch a lot of the prison TV shows and stuff like that, like watch it constantly for entertainment and stuff. And I've always found that to be weird. But like I said, again, it's romanticized. They found a way to find it as a source of entertainment, but it shouldn't be, because as we all know that prison is a form of legal enslavement, right?
Right.
We know this. Okay. So, one of the greatest depictions of jail through the media probably would be those series of like, hold on. Let me see. I got it written down. Scared Straight.
This right here, this is my wife right here. See what I'm saying? This is what I do. That's what I like. He came in here want to act like he was all hard and manly. He come in here acting hard, we gonna see how hard you is.
You ain't as intimidating as you should be, because you the very type that'll come right in here and get some bleach thrown in your face and get stuck up.
You think you can take that off? I'm gonna say.
Oh, and for y'all 2 girls, the men that y'all trying to impress by doing all this for, he gonna come to a bitch like me, okay?
Right.
Right.
And ironically enough, I had an aunt. Well, I still have an aunt. My auntie and my uncle, when I was in like middle school, my auntie was a police officer, and she took us down to a local prison and we went through a tour. And like, I mean, it wasn't scary or nothing
Right.
like that, but you know, it was some women out there that was trying to, you know, get with some of my cousins. I was a
Right.
fat, ugly child. So one of them women wouldn't stun me. But I had a cousin, she shaped up real nice. They wanted her ass. They was on her body.
Right.
But when you see these depictions of like, even when you hear about these rich white men that get into trouble and they get ready to go to jail, they'll go online and try to prepare for jail and stuff. Have you ever seen stuff like that or heard some shit like that before?
Only the movies.
Like, I think people really do that shit in real life
right.
though. Like, what are your thoughts of like the connection between media and like the realistic portrayal of jail?
Well, okay. Well, to me, I like to call it the music stop. You know what I'm saying?
Explain it.
Right. Because it's like they be listening to the music and watching these shows and stuff like that right there, and then they be bob, and then, you know, boom, 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 and, you know, it's like all a rush. And then once the police get you and you go to jail, I call it the music stop. Because you be praying for that to jump back again when you're in jail, but it ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing but reality gonna sit in. You know what I'm saying?
And you got a lot of time to sit there and let it process.
That's right. And so that's what the, you know, you sitting there and letting that process. Damn, I should have did that. Damn, I shouldn't have did that. And then, you know, that's that process. Like I said, the music stops. You know, reality sets in.
Do you feel like when a lot of these young men go to jail, it's like they get some type of like, I don't want to say cool card, that's so fucking lame to say, but they get some type of like representation in they respective neighborhoods? Do that make them more of a respectable gangster or some shit?
The only thing that what it is that's for those that doesn't go to jail and snitch. You feel me? Because people, it's a lot of pressure on young black men when they go to jail. You know, to snitch.
Snitch.
Yeah, to snitch. So the thing that happens is if they feel like, okay, man, you had a certain, you know, charge or this or that, you know, you was up on a certain amount of pressure. You didn't snitch. You didn't tell on nobody. You know what I'm saying? You went did your time. You held up for what you did. Then that is like a, you know what I'm saying, a badge of honor, because you're not going against man code for yourself, what I call keeping it real with yourself before you do anything else. Why would I put anybody in a position that somebody didn't put me in and then put them in a worse position that I'm in?
That's real.
Right.
See, but okay, this is my thing. I could go two different ways with this. We could obviously talk about like the YSL trial with like Young Thug, especially when it comes to the goddamn rapper. What's that motherfucker name? You know what rapper?
Gunna.
The fat one with the locks and shit that he had snitched on Young Thug. He rap sweet. Yes, thank you. You know, TT getting old, baby.
But I'm gonna show you something. Just being real. When it came down to that, the other guys made it told. They really been telling on Young Thug. I'm talking about. I've been watching it, and just the realization of it, and a lot of people need to watch that trial because it be people right around you, man. They be, you know, they be telling the whole time. That's how the only way police know what's going on is somebody had to tell them what's going on,
or they put their fucking business on the internet.
Well, that's gonna happen because that's the, you know, that's the trend now.
Yes.
I get into it with somebody, the first thing they do, you know, you run to the internet to see, oh, they say such got into it. You go on to Facebook to see who posting it or who.
It's not even that. Like Boosie just got in trouble a couple months ago because he had a gun on the internet. You know, shit like that, and you're not supposed to have no gun on you.
What does snitching mean to you?
It doesn't mean anything to me, but I'm aware of the term that you, yes, I'm aware.
What is the meaning of the term? What's the definition?
It doesn't mean anything to me, but I'm aware of the term.
How are you aware of the term?
I've heard the term.
How do you understand the term to be used?
not aware of the term to be used. Yeah, indicating that a person is a law enforcement or something. Indicating that a person is law enforcement or some nature.
So are you able to use snitching in a sentence?
Yes.
Please use it the way you understand it to be properly used in a sentence.
I heard someone is a snitch.
And please explain how, in that sentence, snitch refers to law enforcement.
I can't.
Why did you use it that way?
I mean, I've seen movies, and that's the direction that the movie was going in. Maybe even used the term. Maybe even got it from like movies, yeah.
And the way you understand the term, is it a good thing or a bad thing to be known as a snitch?
I really don't fully understand the term.
Ms. Love, this might be a stopping point at this point in time, okay?
Yes, sir.
Given it's pretty close to noon, all right? But thank you. All right.
The thing that this conversation is leading me to ask is about like the street morality, right? We have such a high, like, we value with our morality when it comes to the streets, like snitching. We disvalue rats and like all this type of stuff. Like, but I feel like in those contexts, people kind of get confused about what it is okay to snitch on, what is not okay to snitch on.
Right.
Because a lot of people would like, when it comes to stuff like sexual assault, sex trafficking, stuff like that,
Right.
they will hold their homeboys down. And then in the same respect, when it comes to stuff like marijuana, they'll run their fucking mouth. They'll sing like a canary. So like,
if there's a serial killer living next door to you, though, and you know that person is, killing people, would you be a snitch if you called police and told them?
If I knew the serial killer was living next door to me?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't call and tell anybody on him, but I'll probably move. Like, I'm not going to be around because I don't need to be living around serial killers, but I'm not going to call and be like, put the signs up like, yo, the serial killer's in 4E.
It's not your responsibility.
Exactly.
Is there any situation where you think it's okay to talk to the police?
Yeah, definitely. Say hello, how you feel, everything all right?
I just wanted to talk about like the morality behind these street codes.
Well, what we call is a such thing as snitching, and it's a such thing as telling.
Internet people think telling is snitching. No, snitching is it. Me and you go commit a crime together. We have agreed to be criminals. We get caught committing a crime. I tell for a lesser charge or to escape the consequences. That's snitching. If me and you riding in the car, I'm on my way to work. I just gave you a ride because you my nigga. You a dope boy nigga. You got dope in your pocket. I'm driving my car getting you a ride somewhere. If you throw the dope down in the seat when we get pulled over and the police says, say, who dope is this? And me and you looking at each other and you don't say nothing. And I say, sir, that's his. Nigga, I ain't told nothing. We just done set this shit straight.
You see what I'm saying? A lot of things, you gonna tell it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be doing certain shit and I'm not gonna like, oh, I ain't gonna take the police. Hell no, I'm fucking telling the police, you motherfucking right, I'm telling them, So it's not like we have like a code of honor when it comes, but the code of honor is if you get caught, don't put more people in the trouble than the same trouble that you are.
That's real.
And the other thing is like in the community, it's the such thing as like I said, man, we call it like telling it. You think you're gonna do something to my friend, to a friend of mine, and I see it, and then I'm like, oh, I ain't seen shit. Hell no, hell yeah, I seen it. Hell yeah, he did it. And if I get up on the motherfucking stand, hell yeah, they is right there. To me, and to street niggas, that's not a code to saying that you snitching or whatever like that, because that's not snitching. You see what I'm talking about? How would I feel, and how would my friend, family feel, his mother feel, his kids feel if I didn't tell it? Then how, you got to look at it like that right there. You know what I'm saying? It's not like me and him went on a crime together and then we did, and then I snitched on him and said he did it. Hell no, we did it together. But I'm talking about, like, I see you do it, you did it to my friend, boom. Like a lot of stuff, like you ain't got nothing, nothing to do with. A lot of times you're not getting tied up in it, because a lot of time, man, the police can't protect you. So now you done seen this, you done seen that go on. It ain't none of your damn business, but you done went around your mouth. Now, motherfuckers saying that you the only witness, they want to kill your ass.
They do.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I know a nigga in Starville that's got some bad luck that hit on his head right now.
That's right. And they want to kill you now to get away. So
he can only move around at nighttime.
That's right. So we don't, that's what I mean about, people don't want to get put in a certain position to get their stuff right. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Right.
I do.
I want to snitch. I want to snitch. I want to tell. Whatever they call telling, snitching, I want to do it. And I want to make it cool to do it.
I wanted to talk about, when we're talking about the media, is the school to prison pipeline. And I also wanted to talk about Donald Trump's, his first criminal trial that's going on right now, because it's something that is like completely unprecedented. We've never seen a former president or a current president go through a criminal trial. So which one you want to talk about? School to prison pipeline?
We can do both.
I'm following you. I'm following you.
Okay, I like talking about the issue about Donald Trump, because it's something to, I'm watching, because it's the thing that happened right here in Mississippi.
Like what?
One thing about what Tate Reeves and
Big Monkey Fat Nick ass.
That's right. And then you got Phil Bryant. And then as I had been reading up on it, I was talking to a young lady yesterday, and she got lupus, and she was in there with her child, and she was talking and telling me how hard it was for her, and that she was so happy that she had just started getting a disability and everything, and like she had been working for 2 years, and she was getting her health back and stuff. She's getting back healthy. So we was talking, and I said, yeah. She said, cause the state ain't doing that. They taking everything from us. So I was like, yeah. I was like, with the TANF money.
Come on.
Let me tell you something. Black people, please listen. We need, in Mississippi, we should be talking about this if we ain't talking about nothing. How the saying go? We got them now. Because this was money. This is why our neighborhoods is poor. This was the money, okay, in the neighborhood. TANF is cash money that you get, which people here, they never heard of, because so many people getting turned down for it. They were just turning people down. Okay.
And they didn't realize there was a reason why.
That's right. It was a reason why. Okay. So that money, along with, you just say, we getting food stamps, we able to go to the doctor.
Section 8 housing.
Mama got a job, we got the hood certificate. With that cash money, it's that leg up, what we call. That's the only way that the kids around here really get any kind of cash money when they getting child support. That's why, the government, they throw that on us so bad about the child support.
Because they want a reason to put y'all in jail even more.
The system is so unfair when it comes down to child support. You were owed $7,000-$8,000 before you even know you're on child support. And then when it comes down to it, they like, well, we serve you and you didn't come to court. Like, where you serve me at? Then they show you some address that, like, I never stayed there. We don't want to talk about that now. How you finna pay it? Like, damn, no blood test, no nothing. So
same thing I was telling Tanira when I came out with an episode a couple weeks ago. It's called A Love Letter to mothers. And I was telling her about, in some states, that if you do not pay your child support, they can legally castrate Black men.
Right.
They can sterilize them to the point where they cannot have any children. Like, and it's rare. I think it's in Montana. I'm telling you, but like, they use that as a justification to find more people to go into jail. And like, I know if I were to get pregnant, I would be team put that nigga on child support. But it gets to a point where you have to have some type of empathy for Black men. Like, a lot of men are struggling, and we're also like in a terrible economy. A lot of people don't have money like that.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be honest. I got a saying that I say, I don't know no Black man that left his family. You know what I'm saying?
Tell me more.
I say that to say this. Black men just don't leave that fact. It's going to be a reason why. A lot of black women are more stronger in a way they claim to be more independent because they more lean toward the government. If you leave anyway, I'm getting all the benefits I'm getting, which I really don't need you no way, because it's like, just like you said about castrating us, the government did this to us when they brought about all this stuff, what's going on now with the child support. Let me show you why. Everything that makes me a man in my home, he came and he gave to him. When he put the roof over the head, he gave him the little free apartments and all that right there, hood certificates and all that right there. Okay, supposed to put food on the table, he gave you the food stamp. I'm supposed to be able, when the kid gets sick, I take you to the doctor, he gave you the Medicare and all that stuff like that right there. When it come down to it, it was like, what do I need you for? And then, a lot of black men was like, man, what can I do? Oh, I ain't educated enough. I ain't never had a job before. You know what I'm saying? You try to get into the job, then you get in the job, you think the job is like the streets, straight time, West Time. You can't get up here and argue with these people and stuff like that on the street, hooping and hollering.
Oh, I be seeing them niggas, they be getting their first real job. They don't know they not supposed to drink up there.
That's right.
And then they don't understand how much is too much and how little is too little. Them jokers said, he said, I took one drink. She said, I could smell it off your breath. Did you drink the whole bottle? He said, yeah, that's one drink.
Right.
And he don't know that he can't come up there and argue with them folks and drink on them folks' rock like that.
Right. And when you get backed up against a wall like that where you're not working, kids are expensive. And a woman, you know what I'm saying, a woman is not scared to tell a man to be a man. And a lot of men have never been a man until they have a child. You know what I mean?
Because it forced them to grow up.
That's right. It forces them to grow up. So when it forces him to grow up, it's so much pressure on him to be a man that he's like, man, I can't do it. He don't feel like he the man enough for us. So she go out and look for another man like a friend. Tell him, go get you a real man, girl. You know what I'm saying?
Who the real man? Uncle Sam? The government?
Well, how it's characterized out here, anybody with a role. See, a broke man ain't supposed to have a woman. It's so safe. People don't believe in love anymore. I'm gonna show you what I mean. A lot of times, people need to just try to make it together. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said a black man don't leave his family. A lot of times they go separate ways. See what I'm saying? You don't have a choice. Cause they going on, hey, you can't be in the house with us. You get caught up in the house with us, we gonna lose this house. We gonna lose this, we gonna lose that. So, women got those choices, then they get a boyfriend. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now the father, he gone, but she got a boyfriend. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you just imagine how that makes a man feel. Get what he finna go do.
Crash out.
Go get another woman. Then he got another baby. Trying to make up for
the family he lost.
There you go. And that's how so many black men end up running from one woman to the next woman. Because all women want you to still be a man, even after you done had a baby by the other woman. She still tell you, hey, I ain't going for that shit. That that she went to. You finna go do this and you do that. He know with all his heart that nobody then taught me to be a man.
People, black men and black people in general, are overrepresented in news as criminals. When I say overrepresented, that means they are shown as criminals more times than is accurate that they are actually criminals, right? Based on FBI statistics.
I mean, I'm a big believer in the power of media full of these cliches that basically present mostly black and brown folks who seem like animals in cages, and then someone can turn off the TV thinking it's a good thing for prisons because otherwise those crazy people would be walking on my block.
Creating a context where people are afraid, and when you make people afraid, you can always justify putting people in a garbage can.
Chances are you could run into a kid waiting to relieve you of your purse or wallet.
Every media outlet in the country thinks I'm less than human. I began to hear the word super predator as if that was my name.
Super predator, predator. Super predator.
Super predators
end quote. That's the word they used to describe this generation, and it was very, very effective.
Experts call them super predators.
They are not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators. No conscience, no empathy.
Group of kids who are growing up essentially fatherless, godless, and jobless.
For me, what's more disturbing is the degree to which black people bought into that.
Animals, beasts that needed to be controlled.
When those grandmothers say, but he's a good boy, he never did anything. Don't you believe it?
Many black communities began to actually support policies that criminalize their own children.
Last night, the 18s accused in the attack were arraigned on charges of rape and attempted murder.
In the Central Park jogger case, they put 5 innocent teens in prison because the public pressure to lock up these quote-unquote animals was so strong.
You better believe that I hate the people that took this girl and raped her brutally. You better believe it.
Donald Trump wanted to give these kids a death penalty, and he took out a full-page ad to put the pressure on. These children, 4 of them under 18, all went to adult prisons for 6 to 11 years before DNA evidence proved they were all innocent.
We make them their crime. That's how we introduce them. Well, that's a rapist, that's a murderer, that's a robber, that's a sex offender, that's a burglar, that's a gang leader. And through that lens, it becomes so much easier to accept that they're guilty and that they should go to prison.
The objective reality is that virtually no one who is white understands the challenge of being black in America.
So you have then educated a public deliberately over years, over decades, to believe that black men in particular and black people in general are criminals. I want to be clear, because I'm not just saying that white people believe this, right? Black people also believe this and are terrified of our own selves.
The way that we appeal to voters' sense of fear and anxiety in our nation runs through black bodies.
Can you discuss the historical connections between the legacy of slavery and the disproportionate incarceration of certain communities?
Yeah, from my understanding, like here in Mississippi, the punishment wasn't created for black people. Palm was created for white people.
Explain it.
That's from my understanding it was white people who held their favors. It like won a lot of black people up in the penitentiary. You see what I'm saying?
I believe Parchment was a slave plantation.
Well, white folks up in there at first. Now it might have been a slave plantation.
No, it may be before. So I'm listening.
Right.
No, I'm following. Come on.
Now, reason why I said that, I'm gonna say this. Parchment, they call it the form.
Mm-hmm.
It's designed like a slave plantation.
Mm-hmm.
And we live in the quarters, like the old slave people say, and we get out every day and work. And then we go back in when it get dark and all that. They put all the slaves back off in there. And then, because, the people in the penitentiary, the prisoners run the penitentiary. The officers really don't do. They just kind of watch over the
because
inmates.
they're what? Overseers.
That's right. That's all they're really doing is overseeing. So, with that being said, the slavery thing is it's modern day slavery. I don't know. It's over 33,000. I like to use it now with 33,000. I like to use it. Okay, but I know it's over 33, maybe like 40 something. We'll use 33. Okay. Every 3 people is 99. Is 99,000. Like 100. They say it's 100,000. Every 3 people. Every fiscal year.
Explain it.
Every fiscal year, the state gets so much for every inmate.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So that's why I said I know it's way over 33, but we're going to use the number 33.
Okay.
So that's every 3 people is like 100,000. So it means like every 30 people is $1 million.
Okay.
You can't show me 30 people, black people, from these small towns in these cities and get $1 million together
Mm-mm.
in a year's time. A lot of them, 30 people ain't finna make. They ain't gonna make it like that. So, a lot of people out here be working 2 jobs just trying to make $33,000.
Very true.
Okay, so in the penitentiary, they getting that much for each inmate. That's why it's so important. It's like, that's what the police out here doing. They rounding up slaves.
Have you ever heard of Mississippi State Penitentiary, also known as Parchman Penal Colony? I'm going to talk a little bit about it today. It's located in Sunflower, Mississippi, and covers 18,000 acres. It's also Mississippi's only maximum security prison. It now has over 4,800 beds, and it became operational in 1905. It was built by Mississippi prisoners, and it's a very large farm that used to include 3 separate farms. There was a small farm for white prisoners, a small farm for female prisoners, and then a large farm for African-American male prisoners, which was most of the prison, and still is today. The men worked 6 days a week, 10 hours a day, and they had livestock, soybeans, cotton, poultry, you name it. Mississippi also had a policy at the time where they would rent out prisoners for labor. The prisoners were rented out to build railroads, tunnels using dynamite, which is obviously very dangerous. They worked in the sweltering heat at cotton farms. A lot of times they were forced to perform this labor at gunpoint, and they were severely punished if they didn't make the money for the prison that they were supposed to. The first year of leasing out these incarcerated men, the prison made about $185,000, which now would be over $7 million. The convict leasing policy didn't end until 1942. In the 1960s, over 300 freedom riders were put in Parchman, including John Lewis. Many were put in chain gangs as punishment. They were allowed only 1 shower per week and no mail. When they sang, their mattresses were removed. Because Governor Barnett promised to protect the freedom riders in exchange for their arrest, he famously told the warden, "Break their spirit, but not their bones." In 1972, 4 prisoners sued Parchman, saying their civil rights had been violated, that Parchman was infested with maggots and rats. Raw sewage was being dumped in public spaces, and prisoners were being severely abused and subjected to violence, and prisoners were being denied medical care. The courts found that black inmates were forced to live among twice the amount of people as white inmates. They were also more severely punished for the same infractions. The inmates won the case, and the prison was forced to integrate black and white prisoners, make the prison more inhabitable, and end the trustee system, which was when the white lifers, who the prison guards trusted, got to be armed with rifles to guard the other prisoners. In 2019, an inspection of the prison showed many health and safety concerns. Most of the toilets and sinks were broken, the kitchen was filthy, showers didn't work, there was faulty electric wiring, and a lot of prisoners didn't even have mattresses. By 2020, the only thing the prison had fixed is that the prisoners now had mattresses. 8 prisoners also died in the year 2020, either by suicide or violence. They also said they were shutting down an area called Unit 29 because it was unlivable, and as of now, it's still open and prisoners still live there. In April of 2022, the U.S. Department of Justice deemed Parchman inhumane. But I'm really not sure what we're doing about it.
What's crazy is like when we talk about like the how prisons are going private, right?
Right.
A lot of prisons around the United States are being bought by these corporate institutions, and what they're doing is they're downsizing. So they're putting the maximum amount of people within these spaces. Sometimes they'll be bunked up 2, 3 on top of each other, and they feeding them crack. So like when I was in college, anytime we went to any of the main food halls, it was catered by Airmark, right? Airmark is the same company that provides the food for a lot of the prisons throughout the United States, but it's a lower grade of food and the quality is terrible. But what I'm saying is that they're putting little money into how much is available for each inmate, and they're maximizing off of the amount of private. That's why like a lot of like prison advocates like push back against the privatization of prisons.
Correctional facilities.
CCA was the first private prison corporation in the U.S. It started as a small company in Tennessee in 1983.
These folks started making contracts with states, and they had to protect their investment, so the states were required to keep these prisons filled, even if nobody was committing a crime. And in the late 80s and early 90s, this became a growth industry, unlike very few growth industries in America's history. It was absolutely a model guaranteed to succeed.
And one of the ways we see that is through the role of CCA within ALEC to advance a series of bills.
All the legislation you could think of that we fight so hard against, 3 strikes, you're out.
3 strikes and you are out.
Mandatory minimum sentencing laws.
Serve at least 85% of their sentence.
We're the ones that were putting out there, like on a a premier prefix dinner menu, a steady influx of bodies to generate the profit that would go to the shareholders.
Through ALEC, CCA became the leader in private prisons. It's a multi-billion-dollar business today that gets rich off punishment.
We are America's leader in partnership corrections. We are CCA.
And so through ALEC, CCA had a hand in shaping crime policy across the country, including not just prison privatization, but the rapid increase in criminalization.
Right. Yeah, because just what I was just explaining then, because it broke down to slavery, where round them up and we getting money for them. You did?
So, okay, this is a question. What are the different jobs that niggas do in jail? Like, I know niggas be making that's what I'm saying. Like, they get paid like 25 cents an hour, if that.
Oh, anyway, that's MPIC. That's only I mean, when I say that's a
Small amount.
When I say that maybe ain't 1 to 2, that might ain't be 1% of the people that's locked up that work like an MPIC. That's only nah.
But them
nobody
niggas
getting paid in prison.
They making the car tags. They make the wire hangers. What do niggas do?
Those are the people that's working with like the MPIC, but those are gonna be like people that's been there for a long time, like people with licenses and stuff like that. You're not just gonna be coming right up in prison and gonna working on MPIC. It don't work like that.
Oh, I don't know. I never been up in that hole.
Well, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. See, I've been in there, so I already know. To get like MPIC, you gotta know somebody. Like, on the street, you got a job like that right there. You got to know somebody.
Network.
And then they don't want people up in there like with little time. Like, nigga, fuck you trying to get up in here, trying to make some money for you. Ain't got that much time. We trying to, nigga with job like that right here, they got license. So that's why I say, most of the guys that work a job like that,
them positions probably don't come open available either.
Nah, that ain't. Yeah, I worked several jobs. I never even thought about working with MPIC.
Okay, so what about like, I know people cook in the jails.
Yeah, I worked in the kitchen. I ran the kitchen. I ran the kitchen in Rankin County, and I ran the kitchen in Portsmouth. It ain't nothing to it. It's kind of like, man, we just served like 1,500 people in like an hour or two or something like that.
Do y'all get like community gardens? No.
Well, me myself, when I was up in there, wasn't no community going on up in there. You did one time because they playing out apartment, had all the vegetables, all anything you can think about right there. You did. So we was getting all the vegetables and all we were gonna get right there. And plus I ran the kitchen, so I stayed with food.
Well, rate the quality of the food. Like, how good is the food?
And just being honest, it depends on where you at. It really just depends on where you at. A lot of cooks and stuff in places they don't care, like the county jail, Madison County Jail. Madison County Jail back in the day, the food was real decent, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of plentiful. And then they went from that to food that you couldn't even identify.
Yeah.
You did. And, it was like if they was punishing people. It was like, oh, y'all can't come to jail and be eating no good food like that. But, like, they ain't good
quality
food.
of life.
Right.
This quality of life.
Yeah.
I will tell you this, when we're talking about the romanticization of jail life, they romanticize jail food a lot, and I've seen this a lot in the media. Yeah. So a lot of people be talking about how they get the what is it, the little snacks, and then they be making the hood burritos, and they be making all the special concoctions, and then you see people like Young Thug then blew up. That motherfucker is swole, and I know it's because like when they read off his transcript, all he been eating is hot dogs and noodles and shit.
Right. So like when this how that go. When you go to jail, certain people ain't got nobody looking out on them, nothing like that. And then certain people, they come in, they got a little money, folks to take care of. So when you up in there, the food, you ain't eating in the kitchen. Like a lot of times, I just take the food out the kitchen and, mix it with stuff that I already got up in the zone. You know what I mean? Like we eat a lot of, people in the prison eat a lot of noodles, sausages, the little beef stew, chili, stuff like that. So a lot of
heavily processed food.
Right. So that's why you see a lot of people gaining weight, because you might put two things of noodles and then get a beef stew and pull it up and down and put a pack of cheese up in there, and this and then to sit there and eat it all to myself and lay there on the rack, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. I hate that. I was watching an episode. I want to say it was Drewski's episode on YouTube. He could have been House. Have you heard of that before?
Yeah.
Okay, so they have an episode with Crip Mac on there. He's a famous Crip. And he is hilarious. And one of the challenges he did was like he was teaching all the people who participated how to make like jail food, and their competition was to make it as edible and delicious as possible, and they couldn't even do it and shit.
Make these peasants cook me a meal. Cook me a motherfucking meal.
Y'all compete to win, man. Y'all stay in y'all group, make up y'all dish, and impress OG.
Hey, we're gonna correct that. Different low general. I'm still young.
Let them know.
I don't want to. All right, here we go. The tuna spread. Get you started. Hold on, that's not how you do it, cuz. You grab this motherfucker. You crush, cuz. 5 times. A jail meal is something you can eat at all times of the day. You work out, then you eat, motherfucker. I'm not going back and forth with you motherfuckers. That's your tuna hood. Okay, in the county jail, a vending card, and you're gonna slice and dice this motherfucker. How many of you motherfuckers been in jail in another state? How long you do, hood?
We got them 2 weeks.
2 weeks? You asshole, keep cooking. What about you, Mr. Willrich?
I've been back and forth. One time 30 days, another time 2 months, another time 3 months.
Anybody else been in jail?
I have.
How did you survive? You ate pussy like the snake sisters out here in LA?
I got assault charges.
Got the meat on the grill cooking, motherfucker. You guys paying attention what the I'm doing?
Yes, sir.
Or talking?
Yes, sir. We listening.
All right, you motherfucker.
Somebody eating already, Crip Mac.
Hey, ain't no eating. You want to eat? You're going to fight me right now, motherfucker.
Shit.
You custer motherfucker, quit eating. It's not cow time.
Where's the Raising Cane's? It's a Raising Cane's down the street. But y'all couldn't bring me no motherfucking Raising Cane's.
Get the skillet going nice and nifty. Cheese. Have you ever turned out any fade in your life?
Nah.
All right, have half the cheese. I find out you're lying, have one of these sisters whip your ass.
Can't nobody beat me.
You that confident?
Yeah.
Ain't nobody bigger than the program, hood.
Ride that cheese, man. Ride that cheese down.
Put a little hot sauce in there. Tuna smells like cat food. Reminds you of jail, doesn't it? Oh, yeah, I know what I'm doing, brother. Get a little more water. Hey. Oh, you made it already, huh? Yeah, you don't take a vote. Ah! I take the teeth out because you got to eat. Where you out again, big homie?
From Atlanta.
Go ahead and try this motherfucker. Well.
Appreciate you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
But I'm just like, who the fuck want to sit there and play around with stuff like that? People real life struggling in real life, be praying for little shit like that.
Yeah. You know what? Just being real, debt does, from going to jail and what's not, teach you how to survive. Because you actually can survive off less than like a couple dollars, like $7, $8. You can survive off that for a whole week. Because the average person that's been in jail, we know how to break that down to where you're gonna get your bologna, you're gonna get your bread, you're gonna get your noodles, you know what I'm saying? You get your stuff like that right there. So when you break it down like that right there, you might eat a noodle and a sandwich. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You got 24, you got a loaf of bread, you got, a couple stacks of meat. Hey, you know what I'm saying? You eat a noodle and a sandwich, eat a noodle sandwich for breakfast, eat a noodle sandwich for lunch, eat a noodle sandwich for dinner. So that's making it. That's making it more than, someone that don't know where their next meal is coming from.
This
like
this sad as fuck.
Yeah, a lot of people be hungry out here. A lot of people just, so I'm just being honest with you, baby. A lot of people survive off like potato chips and shit that people get.
I know it.
And then now these drugs that they on now prevents them from eating what they is the jigger pills and then the ice that they on now.
Not the ice.
They don't be the 8 in like 2 days, and then 8 in 2 days, and you ain't slept in 2 days. Like
now, it's some nice holy people. Listen, they don't know about the ice and the jigger pills and all that.
Well, there's methamphetamine. I think those are all methamphetamine. That's why I say the symptoms are no sleeping.
I think you put like some fucking like window shield fluid to make the
like
ice.
Poison,
and then you put in a little hole and it go kaboom, and then it come out and it look just clear, crystal clear like ice.
Yeah. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I don't get down mess with shit like that right there. I didn't.
I didn't expect you to
talk about it, but I think it's just made of poison. And then like a lot of people now, I think yeah, guy just died. I think um guy just died around here that swallowed some pills or something, but the pills was laced with fentanyl. I think they said.
Here?
Yeah, here in Canada.
That's scary.
Young guy. Yeah, man, young guy, man, life ended tragically. You know, just trying. He didn't want to go back to prison. Just got out of prison. And you know, he didn't want to go back to prison. And you know, it's sad, you know, for his family and everything. And yeah, man, like I said, the pills were laced with fentanyl.
That's another thing too, because I know that there's probably a huge fentanyl drug crisis going on within
Yeah.
jails, and then you see what's going on with California, where they're rounding up, they're getting ready to send all these homeless people to jail just for being homeless, right?
Right.
So they're gonna have overflow within these jails, and a lot of these people who are homeless are mentally ill as well as on drugs. They strung
Right.
out for real. So like, I just know it's a problem, and I don't know if the justice system is gonna be able to handle it.
Right.
Like, I don't know. It's just a shit you can complain about so much, especially when we talking about this area. Like in Jackson, we just found out about the 238 dead bodies behind the prison.
The gruesome discovery of 215 bodies buried in unmarked graves behind a jail outside of Jackson, Mississippi, has left a community in disbelief. The families are angry their loved ones were buried in so-called paupers' graves, marked by just a metal rod and a number, and families were never notified of their deaths. The startling revelation came months after the mother of 37-year-old Dexter Wade filed a missing persons report last March. It wasn't until August when Betterson Wade learned her son had been hit by a police car and killed, then buried in that same cemetery. For more about this case and the disturbing details that have emerged since then, I am joined now by Betterson Wade and civil rights attorney Ben Crump, who is representing her and other families. Welcome to you both. Ms. Wade, can I just begin by saying how very sorry we are for your loss, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you all, too.
I understand, Ms. Wade, you contacted the Jackson Police Department after reporting that your son was missing several times, even after he had been buried without your knowledge. Give us a sense of what they told you over those many months and what those months were like for you, not knowing where your son was.
Well, it was devastating to me because I didn't know where he were. And then I was calling them. They didn't have no information to let me know have they, found any information. All the, details that I gave them for leads, they never came back to me to say, well, that lead related to something that we can work with. And I just couldn't believe that he had disappeared off the face of earth and nobody knows where he at. And it was just horrible for me. And every day I wake up, I just look, just looking for him, just out in the streets looking for him. And I mean, that's heartbreaking for a mother. And can't say hello, don't know how to get in touch with him. That is a horrible thing for a mother.
Mr. Crump, after it was discovered that Dexter had been killed, that he had been buried in this grave, his body was exhumed in November. There was an autopsy conducted. He was given a proper burial. But I also understand a wallet was found in his front pocket with his ID, his home address, his insurance card. What's the explanation officials give for why no one was notified he had been killed and buried?
There really is no explanation that they have offered. They claimed that they tried to reach out to Miss Betterson, and you should know that Miss Betterson is the named plaintiff in a lawsuit against the Jackson Police Department because they killed her brother 3 years earlier. She went through 2 criminal trials, had several press conferences. So when they called her house, if they did call her house like they claimed, they knew where she lived. They knew how to get in contact with her if they really wanted to notify her that her son Dexter had been hit by a police car. So it is very suspicious that they would just bury him in a pauper's grave because they said they could not identify his next of kin. Miss Betterson does not accept it, and because of her tenacity, it has exposed all of these loved ones being dropped in a hole in a bag behind a Mississippi jail.
And then last week, the young man, the YouTuber who was just killed by a Jackson police officer.
Now, family members of the victim, Carlos Collins, met up at their family home to reflect on what has happened since early this morning when they got the news. 12 News' Cameron Smith spoke with the family following their major loss.
I would have rather him shoot me, beat me with an axe. Not my baby. Not him.
Ashla Hudson, the mother of Carlos, says her son was killed by
Marcus Johnson, an ex-boyfriend of his, and who Carlos had restraining order on.
Hudson says Johnson
followed my son to M-Bar.
And Marcus was sitting in a booth behind him. Hudson says Carlos filed a restraining order against Johnson, and some of her family members asked Marcus to leave that evening.
That's when security was alerted. But the security guards at M-Bar said that they couldn't do anything because they didn't actively have the restraining order there. So, leading up to this morning, I feel if they had arrested him Saturday night, my son still would be alive.
I'm here with Carlos Collins' family as they are grieving.
Lord, help me. Somebody turn him in, Lord. Turn him in.
Collins' aunt, Glory Jean Hudson, says her nephew came to see her last Thursday.
And he said, Auntie, I bought your steak. I bought this. I said, well, Carlos, I got your blueberry pie. Take it home, put half in the refrigerator, and eat the other. But I didn't know that be the last time I seen my nephew.
In Yazoo City,
police, I want you to find Marcus for killing my uncle at night.
Cameron Smith, 12 News.
Is where a Jackson police officer killed somebody. Like that is so normalized that when you hear it, you don't even think twice about it.
Right.
And it makes you think like, what the fuck is going on
That's right.
within these police, like in Jackson with they police, that they having back-to-back issues like this on a national scale.
Right. Well, Jackson police really got a problem on their hands. You know, these days is the days like, man, I ain't never seen them like this. You know, and the number one problem is, I'm gonna say this. This is the problem what we have in the black community. These kids are being equipped with military grade weapons.
They are
at the age of 18 years old. I come up in the crack era. Man, one of these guns these damn kids got now. You had a gun like that back then, nobody fucking with you. You a fucking legend in the street. Nobody want to fuck with you because everybody know that you got this damn military type weapon that, you know, you might can shoot through the damn house. And now it's popularized. You know, it's popular to have the chopper. And I was like, man, they just walk around with them. Like, how the hell they doing it? But the thing is, it's open carry law. And as long as you can see them, it's a rifle. So as long as you can see them with the rifle and they got it, ain't nothing really you can do. And that's crazy. And these are fucking 18-year-old kids.
Uh-huh.
And then you had to, this is the thing, you had to be 21 years old on a pistol. That's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
I would rather them have a pistol than have it. I would rather they be 18 years old on a pistol and then, 21 years old.
Why do you feel that way?
Because I feel like they just kids. They don't understand the severeness of what their gun is going to do when they shoot that gun. Most people around here, we have record-breaking deaths around here. And most people that's getting killed, like, that ain't the people they trying to kill.
I guess my question is like, who do you think are putting these guns within the possession of these young children?
Well, Trump, they got a campaign, I'm just being real, them white folk, they got it. Well, that's what they doing. What is it? National Rifle Association, NRA or something like that right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, they got it like that. And they know who killing each other with these guns. They know that white people just not. Only thing we want to say is when, somebody get and kill up a bunch of white people, then they want to, say
school shooter.
School shooting.
Yeah. Because that's their thing. That's their trademark.
But these type of shootings go on in our community.
Too,
Shit,
yes,
you know
but
what I'm
it's
saying?
just not in
Too much, too
school
often.
systems. It's not in institutions like colleges and schools and playgrounds and shit like that.
Well, like you said, the school to prison pipeline is crazy because a lot of kids, a lot of poor kids don't get that same treatment as kids that someone their parents or they come well dressed and kind of well behaved. You got this other kid, you don't know what's wrong with him. He don't smell right. Mama don't wash his clothes like so. A lot of people they shun away from that. He ain't doing his work back there. In the back of the classroom, he in the back because nobody want to be around. Cause he get his stank ass in the back, right? Instead of that teacher being, a real adult and seeing what's going on with that child, let him know, about his confidence, about, the way he's smelling, see what's going on. You might have a little brother at home that piss in the bed. You see what I'm saying?
And you know what that's a sign of? Sexual molestation.
Right. Well, I don't know nothing about pissing in the bed now.
It is.
I know young boys get to drinking soda pop late at night, he pissing.
If a boy because them young boys around 14, 12, 13.
I don't know. Motherfucker 12, 13 years old pissing in the bed.
That's what that's a sign of.
Yeah, he need his motherfucking ass whoop. He 12, 13 years old pissing in the bed. Now, I don't know no boy 12, 13. He 12, 13 years old pissing in the bed.
He need help. He need a hug.
Yeah, he need more than help. They got it too cold in the house. So motherfucker boy don't want to get up and piss. Right. Yeah.
Policing in America started in the mid-1600s with the Boston Watch, essentially a neighborhood watch group. But some of the first police forces in the South were created to control enslaved black people. They would come to be known as slave patrols. Almost all white men had to serve in these patrols.
Their duties were written into law, like the Slave Patrol Statute from Louisiana in 1835.
Arrest any slave or slaves, whether with or without a permit, who may be caught in the woods or forest with any fire or torch, which slave or slaves thus arrested shall be subjected to corporal punishment not exceeding 30 stripes. So the tying together early on, the surveillance, the deputization essentially of all white men to be police officers, and then to dispense corporal punishment on the scene are all baked in from the very beginning.
Policing in America.
Can you describe what the day-to-day reality of being incarcerated is actually like beyond the sensationalized portrayals of it?
Yeah, man, it's really hard. Just being honest. One thing it depends on where you at. You're in the county jail, you're in prison. We're gonna go with prison. On a day-to-day basis, like I said, it's all designed for you to have a job and work like a everyday average person out in the world. It's supposed to be getting you ready to be a citizen out in the world. But a lot of people on the inside, ain't got no job for everybody now. So those people that don't have a job, you what they call in the camp. You ain't got no job. You just stay in the camp all day.
So what they do, work out all day?
Yeah, out of mind. You just some people might lay around and watch a little TV, get up and do a little regular thing. Like I said, brush your teeth, and eat your breakfast, and go in there. They turn the TV on, watch their little shows on a daily basis, soap operas and shit like that. Man, big on soap operas in the penitentiary.
You lying to me?
Oh. Shit, you fuck around and touch that TV you want to when them soap operas on. So no finna be a killing going on.
Desperate. I love it. I love it.
No, I'm being real because it's like a movie that comes on every day.
I'm one like my question always is who the fuck is keeping these damn shows running? And now I know who the fuck is keeping the shows running. I'm listening. Continue. I just love it. I wouldn't expect them to have that demographic.
Right. So, you got the guy that's going to sit around his own and stuff like that. And like I said, it's out of mind. So, like a lot of people, they get to doing shit they ain't got no business doing. A lot of people, they might break in folk locker, he's sitting around, they gambling, niggas smoking dope, he doing this, what I'm saying, doing that. A lot of time, like they sitting around gambling. A lot of people don't have money. and you don't have to show what you're going to be gambling with right then a lot of times. So what we call is gambling on air.
Okay.
So I might go to the back. We got the gambling game going on. That's boom. Give me 5 chips. You know what I'm saying? It might be $5, and I'm gambling. I lost. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm in a gang. So you just say now I had to try to go somebody in my gang and say, look, man, I need $5, man. What's the name? He said, man, look, I ain't got no money, because you ain't got no money.
Mm-hmm.
So now you just say, now, them boy, gangsters, whatever, they say, look, man, we want our money. Now they didn't what we call scream. So now the guys in my gang or whatever, I'm finna get violated in the back, which they gonna jump on me.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? To teach me a lesson about gambling.
Without no money.
Without no money, and they gonna pay it back. But when they pay it back, that means that now I'm finna owe double. And now I need to get somebody on that fucking phone.
Quickly.
Because they're gonna beat my ass
until you give them with it.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And it's teaching you a lesson, but and all, and still though, that's what it's all about. It's just like everything you do wrong, they're gonna take you to the back and beat your ass.
Oh, yes.
Inmates,
you know, spare the rod, spoil the child.
Yeah, because like I said before, you got the Muslims, you got the Christians, you got the gangsters, you got the vice. So many branches of gangster vice lord. I'm just saying gangster and vice lord. Those are just the 2 main branches. And like I said, the Christians, the Muslims, the gangsters, the vice lords, and we got what you call a peon. A peon ain't nothing.
He a moron.
He ain't no moron. Dummy. He just ain't in no gang or nothing. You see what I'm saying?
Oh.
Right. He ain't in no gang or nothing. So
he a GDI. He a goddamn individual.
Right. And then those are the people that get preyed upon in jail.
Okay.
Right. Because now you don't have no protection. See, like
that's what make them folks hurry up and join gangs and
such.
Right.
Right. See, like even when we go back to eat like breakfast or lunch, we in certain places, like in the penitentiary, you had to line up a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? Well, you might got the Christians in the front, then you got the vice lords, and then you got the, you know what I'm saying? You got the let me see. You say you got the Muslims, you got the vice lord, then you got the Christians, then you got the gangsters, then you got the peons at the end of the line. It's called security. You know, you can't, if you're not one of those groups, you don't need to be in that line nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Because you in somebody else's security, and then you get hurt like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, jail is like in a way it kind of it teaches a man a lot of principles about life and what to do and what not to do
in the most extreme way.
That's right, because most is violently. You know, nobody won't just go and just sit you on your rack and just tell you, bro, don't do that no more. You know what I'm saying? And they don't. Your best friend, he seen it, he got to tell it, because he don't tell it, ass getting it too.
I want to ask you about the officers as well as the COs. Mm-hmm. I've heard a lot of atrocious things, as well as seen a lot of like news articles about, the police officers in Memphis, the white woman and the 6 black men that got caught having sex.
I remember while interviewing for the position at Laverne Police Department, they described the environment as a family. However, while I was aspiring to protect my community, the Laverne Police Department was not protecting me.
By now, most of the country knows what happened. Hall, 4 other officers, and the police chief were fired last month. This after 2 separate investigations found that Hall engaged in sexual activity and/or shared intimate photos and videos with several male officers. The chief and 2 sergeants were among those implicated. Now Hall and her attorney, Wesley Clark, are suing those 3 supervisors and the city in federal court for civil rights violations.
Megan wasn't looked at like a rookie cop to be trained and promoted. She was looked at as a piece of meat to be sexualized and exploited.
Since the story broke, Hall, the lone female officer fired and only woman on the second shift, became a target nationwide for sexual jokes and taunting.
I received harassing and threatening messages on my phone daily. I felt like I had been terrorized.
And yes, now she is suing. No criminal charges have been filed in the case. Hall knows there are those who will say she was a consenting adult who willingly participated in sexual antics in violation of police department policy, and that now she wants to blame others, including one sergeant who targeted her early on.
I know what most people are saying. You could have said no. I get it. But my response to them is that I did say no, and he wouldn't take it for an answer. Eventually, I gave in from pressure.
So it's not as easy to say she could have just said no.
She did say no on several occasions. Miss Hall tried to get out of this relationship, and she was not allowed to.
Hall concedes she participated under duress. She's not saying she was raped, but adds that the salacious details made public of sex on the job put her alone center stage and do not tell the whole story.
They isolated me, they shunned me, they accused me, and they blamed me for becoming a victim.
Hall suffered from depression to the point of considering suicide, and at one point was hospitalized. She felt trapped.
My supervisors worked together to take advantage of my vulnerabilities and my mental health. And they used it for their gain and sexual pleasure.
And that included the police chief, Chip Davis. The independent investigation found he was aware of what was going on and even received intimate photos and videos of Hall.
Who do you even turn to when the chief of police is sexually harassing you? How could I get justice when the entire system, including the chief, not only condoned such behavior, but participated in it? I was lost, and I felt alone. I had no one to turn to, and I had nowhere to go.
Hall now realizes her career in law enforcement is likely over, and she knows those ugly memes on social media will remain forever, her reputation sullied.
No woman should ever have to endure this type of abuse. What happened to me during my employment at Laverne's Police Department, it should never happen to anyone.
Also, as well as the women within female prisons that end up pregnant, as well as like COs being known for being some of the worst people within prison systems as a whole, just because they lack humanity and morality. Right. So I just wanted to talk to you about, those positions and roles within the criminal justice system.
Right. First thing I want to hit on is kind of like you said, some of the guards are some of the most disgusting people, man. I'm talking about, man, they treat people so bad just because you locked up. And to be honest, I was in Parchment, and I had been in Parchment like 4 years, and I finally got my custody up where I can leave and go to a satellite. Mm-hmm. That's work out in the world. So I went, and they sent me all the way down to Woodville. Right on the line to you be in Louisiana. So I got there, and first thing I do, I hadn't watched no videos of BET in like 4 years. So we in the satellite, they got the cable. So like they said, nah, you can't watch no BET up here. What these guys like a lie? They like, nah, they gonna go tell on you. I'm like, oh, tell on you? What the fuck? Why we got cable? We can't watch. We want to watch. They said, nah, the white boy gonna go tell on you. And it wasn't just really the inmates. It was the police guard. He one that was, coming in and making sure that we weren't watching, BET on there. Because they was like, oh, y'all black people get up and get to watching BET, and that's all y'all want to watch. So y'all got to share the TV with everybody else. So now we can't watch BET at all. I was like, man, I'm ready to get the fuck away from here. So, just being real. So it was my first day. Like I said, I was excited, getting back out in the world. So my first day at work, they sent me to this daycare or whatever like that. But I worked, did everything I was supposed to did. The people liked me a lot, The people actually spoke up good, about me. But let me show you this here. First of all, let me go back a little bit. Okay. That morning, they said, come on, go to work. I just want to say this. They put us on the back of a truck. It was like December.
You was cold.
They said, come on. So I go to jump in the damn truck. They like, nah, y'all get on the back of the truck. I'm like, get on the back of the truck. I'm like, man, it's like it's December.
I know it. I know
January.
it. And you from Mississippi, you ain't used to that cold weather.
Man, we got on the back of that truck. I swear to God, we ain't got nothing but some little old thin ass pants. They ain't, little thin, little jacket that you wearing, DLC jacket. And Lord have mercy, the wind was going. Everything just was flapping. And when I got out the back of my truck, I said, Lord have mercy. I said, I don't give a fuck what's going on. I said, I ain't never doing that shit no more.
No.
You see what I'm saying?
I do.
And when I said that, even though I had went work good that day and all that, the guy heard me when I told the other inmate that, because I had never experienced anything like that in my life. I ain't never been on the back of no truck that cold. And I'm talking about, and I said they were going 70 miles an hour, and we was on the back of the truck.
They didn't care.
They didn't even care.
I know it.
And, I just felt like that was one of the most, like heinous thing that you can do. I knew there was like low down and dirt. I was like, damn,
they
man,
do that shit for fun.
Like
they do that shit for fun. They find it entertaining.
Right. And I was like, damn.
Miserable.
And they didn't let me go back and work in the world no more. They told me that I was gonna be counseled for it. I had said that I wasn't gonna never go through this shit again. And I didn't even say it to the guy. I said it to another inmate. They took me out. Not going out in the world and work, so they just put me in the camp. Now I'm just walking around the camp just like I'm in Parliament now. I got this white boy over here. He don't play. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He done call us. He call you everything but a nigga. Everything, and I know he calling you a nigga. He just ain't doing where everybody can hear him. So it was so crazy that I was in Parliament. I swear to God, I got Jack away from the play. I said, "Fuck this shit. I'm ready to go." You know what I'm saying? I just went, just being honest, I just went to walk around the room. Walk around the yard. I was smoking weed, everything. I didn't give a fuck because I was ready to get the fuck away from there. And that was supposed to be in the top custody that you can get while you locked up.
That's ridiculous.
Right.
That's ridiculous. It kind of reminds me of like this police officer that went viral. He was like on the phone and he just upped and hit this bitch while he was driving.
I think she went up on the hood, hit the windshield. Then when he hit the brakes, flew off the car. But she is dead. No, it's a regular person. Yeah. Yeah, just write a check. Just... Yeah, $11,000. She was 26 anyway. She had limited value.
And then he hit her body, ran over, and he was like, oh, she was like 20. She wasn't worth much in the world at all, and kept on driving. And it's kind of like, that just shows you the mentality of those people within those systems. Right. And oftentimes I often say that, like, even if I were to go into that type of institution, I feel like I would gradually end up turning into like a white supremacist because of the environment. That type of culture, it breeds that type of mindset and thought where people feel like they're superior than other people. And that's the fucking problem, because you get situations like what happened with what's the nigga that got his neck kneeled on?
George Floyd.
George Floyd, where you got 4 police officers that went from being the top of the world where nobody can police them or regulate them to them being inmates in a jail. Right. Like, you get what I'm saying? And reality hit motherfuckers quickly. Same thing with Donald Trump, most protected and powerful man in the world. If he lose this case, he gonna be sitting. I don't know how. They gonna find a way to put his ass in some type of probation.
But I'm finna show you something, and just being real with that and every aspect of it. Don't you know that those are all black people actually taking Donald Trump down?
Yes. The only ones that dare to do it.
That's right. And those are not, when it comes to privilege, and that's just like we just talked about.
They're black women. Let's just specify with that.
Black people, stop saying free Donald Trump. First of all, the nigga ain't do no time. He did an hour. That's number one.
Not even an hour, they said.
Number 2, you showing your hands. I am so tired of niggas. I was unfollowing people. People, oh, this is low from the Democrats to take it here. It's like, bro, there's this nigga has been committing crimes for years. It's about time he get indicted like the rest of us, okay?
Yeah, facts.
I get indicted every 10 fucking years. I can't shake these white motherfuckers off my back. Why the fuck can't he go to jail? He's on a recording saying, look, I need you to do something to find these votes. That's like you calling, the weed man, find me some pounds. It's enough. It's enough. I hate that. I hate the fact that All that COVID money and unemployment money has put in niggas' heads that when Donald Trump is in office, we have more money. It's a lie. It's a lie. I don't know about y'all, but when Donald Trump was the president, I literally, that's the first time I think I had where it was somebody in office where I felt nervous. I kept being like, damn, what if he make a mistake and hit the button? You know, he snorted a bunch of Adderall, called China, fuck you niggas. You know what I mean?
We was on edge every day with him in office.
That's how I felt. I thought that he was going to start a fight that he wouldn't be able to finish. Number one, he's dumb. Okay? This is just factual shit. Donald Trump is dumb. This is not like, he's dumb. He paid people to do his schoolwork. Number two, I hate the fact that everybody thinks he's a good businessman. He's not. He has never had one successful business. Even when the nigga was selling steaks, they were moldy. This nigga's not good at anything. He had luxury like sheets and blankets and linen. You get all itchy from him. He's never had a business where it was like good, he made money. He's always been the fuck up, go bankrupt, old motherfucker shit, always.
They're just like here in Mississippi, the attorney general, whatever, like that right there. She didn't, I don't know, man. She's protecting them. Like, she's getting mad with what the guy named Shad White. Shad White, I think. She was getting mad with him, and you know, they didn't. She's like not doing anything. Like, this is like the biggest scandal that happened. You attorney general, you in charge of the state of Mississippi. You the top police officer in Mississippi. You mean to tell me that you see all this going on and you ain't say nothing?
They
Come on, man. We
fickle. Ain't nobody stupid either.
I was saying this the other day, you know, I don't mean no harm when I say this. We are taking our people, the same people that'll shoot their pistol and don't give a damn about all this and all that. See, back in the day, white people had people like that too. You know, they call them the Ku Klux Klan. And other white people used them to get what they wanted. They never they wasn't marching right. You ever seen them marching around and trying to get extra stuff?
They was at Mississippi State a couple years ago.
White folk marching around.
I saw a Ku Klux Klan.
Asking for stuff?
The Klan?
Yeah.
They was asking for some type of rights.
Okay.
They had little poster boards and shit with glitter on the boards and such.
Right. And my thing is, like, and not just saying that black people should get out and like kill white people. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is our kids and these kids, they not looking at what had happened to us, because when Martin Luther King did what he did, they teach us in school. I'm from the South. They teach us in school nonviolence against white people. That shit scarred in our fucking brain. Your ass going through kindergarten, knowing it, all the way to 12th grade, even in college, you're gonna be taught non-violence against white people. So by that being scarred in our heads, like most people, we fear the fact that, like, doing something to white people, like, man, you do something to the white folk, no, them folk gonna throw your ass away. You know what I'm saying? And then that's the type of mentality. Then why you don't have the same mentality about your own people? Because we haven't been taught to be non-violent against our people.
That's
that's
so
right.
real.
That's
so real.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's those organizations that are starting to teach people like that. So, of course, you know, with the new Black Panther Party, they're spread throughout the whole entire South. And what they do is they work with a lot of different gangs in different areas that help do that. So, like, I know the gangs out in Atlanta, they have been trying to educate. They've also, the new Black Panther parties have been leading a lot of protests within black on black crime when they do that. But it's not enough. I don't know what it's going to take to make this generation understand not to hurt each other.
Me myself, I'm gonna tell you something, being honest.
When what?
We need leadership. Let me tell you that. I'm finna break this shit down to you. Let me tell you some real shit. Okay. In our community, our leaders that we have in our community are actually preachers.
Yes.
But they're not community leaders.
No.
I have never seen a preacher get out and be like a leader in the community. I'm not knocking them, because I understand now, because I have friends that are pastors, and I understand that preaching is a job.
Okay.
It's a job that if I had a church and I was preaching at this church and I wasn't, you know, preaching right or doing whatever required, then they would get another preacher.
Okay.
And so that means that I'm getting paid for that job, and everybody in there getting paid for the service that they do. So my thing was mess with Donald Trump and CNN was follow the money. And I started following the money. So I started asking questions. I'm like, man, what they do with the money, this and that?
Bitch, you on here reading scripture. Where the fuck that money at, bitch? Where is the money, Lashondra?
I found out that all the money just go to the bank. To make a long story short, see, we gonna cut out all the what's name just go through the red tape. It goes to the bank. So okay, let's say in this community, we got 13,000 people here. Let's say we got 10 churches here. And we got more than 10 churches, but let's just say we got 10 churches here, and every church do $5,000 a piece on that Sunday. Okay, that's $50,000 in one. There ain't no one day, and that's just a couple
one
hours,
service,
a couple hours.
Come on.
Okay.
Because they didn't cut the church time down too.
Okay. So that's $50,000 in 1 week. That's $200,000 a month. That's $2.4 million a year.
And where's that money going? Because it's not back in the communities.
And that's the main thing. What's the name? I'm talking about it. And then that's why I said in the community, me and brother Linderick Taylor, man, we've been talking about this and trying to get this thing started where you can invest, where the people in the community we can invest back into the community, where we can put our money together, and start building homes. If we don't provide, this is my main thing, if we don't provide jobs to our own people, how can we expect us to rise above anything?
You are absolutely correct. Now, I would say this. The churches, black churches, especially in America, started off as grassroots.
Yes, they did.
So that means that at the very beginning, all the way up until like the civil rights movements, those churches were involved in the communities. Those churches were involved in condemning violence. When the Ku Klux Klan showed up in front of your house, who showed up back? It was the church.
That's right.
Then when you get to the 80s and 90s, you start seeing the government putting money into those churches and telling them, if you're going to receive this money, you can't speak out against these political issues that's going on within these communities.
And now the bank on it.
Okay. So, and then you got to realize too, a lot of these pastors are becoming pastors because of the tax exempt status. So, as well as the reputation that they get when they become pastors and stuff like that. So, a lot of these modern pastors are con artists, and they in it for the fucking money.
Right.
And so, because you're completely right, they could easily create a bail bond within all these different churches, because the church is the first place that these folks run to when there's an issue, especially down here in the South. And it's just ridiculous to me that every corner I turn to, it's a beautiful church, nice white crosses and shit, and the whole neighborhood is in despair.
But let me show you this. I'm
ready.
Now, let's go right down the street to Madison. Let's go to Ridgeland, right?
Ridgeland, Mississippi.
Mississippi, where I stay at. And okay. The churches down there, everything around the churches prosper. I know the church go in and buy the land or do whatever they do, or the people that's in the church buying the land and doing whatever they're doing. But I think in the white church, it's all about plot, plan, and execute.
Okay.
You feel me?
I do.
I don't think that they up in there, jumping around and waiting on stuff to fall out the sky, or somebody for to do something for. I think that they're getting up in there and they doing it themselves. They're growing cities because they start with the church. That's how they start.
Mm-hmm.
We got a new built town here, man, Glustack. Glustack has grew, and it's a brand new city right here in between.
I was just down there in Glustack.
Yeah, I'm talking about everything is new. I think I don't want to throw that out there. I ain't going to speak on that because yes, I am. Well, I think they wanted to do the same thing to Canton what they did to Glustack. But the trick didn't work what they tried to put out there. Okay, they tried to take over the mayor's position.
Okay.
Which was someone white.
Uh-huh.
It didn't work. They tried to take over the county supervisor.
These pastors?
No, not the pastor. We talking about, white candidates around here.
Uh-huh.
But what they was going to do was the same thing what they did to Glustack. They were going to build Canton up, but it was going to be all about the white people came in and did it,
and help repair the city.
Right.
Same thing they doing with the over-policing in Jackson. That's what they trying to do. They trying to bring in more police officers just so they can help protect and uplift the city.
Right.
But they doing what is it when white people influx into one area and they bring the what is it called? Don't worry about
White
it.
flight. We was talking about the white flight and what's night, like they leaving city. This is a city that the white people left out of, and they kind of took everything with it.
Mm-hmm.
And the white people left here, and everybody was going to Madison. People leaving Jackson, they was going to Madison. They was going to Richmond. You know what I'm saying? They, like we was talking about in what's night about the white flight. So that's how you have like it's millionaires. I'm talking about like Madison is, I think, like in the top 10 safest places to stay in the United States.
Yeah, because they have generational wealth, because that's where majority of the plantation owners were.
Well, one thing about it is it goes back to what we were just talking about a minute ago. They supporting their own. I think
they own
Mary Hawkins been the mayor of Madison. I know since before 1988. So they got their first Jigney Jungle in Madison in 1988, and she was the mayor then. So it's all about growing. They got certain people that in the construction work, certain families. They in this, and that's how they structured around. It's like families run Madison. You see what I'm saying? The big family. So like here in Canton, Mississippi, most of the big families are the head of those families are pastors. Now you feel me?
Yeah, it's clicking now.
Yeah. So like with pastors being the big people around here, like a lot of people, they was like doing the building, like a lot of the pastors, they was the carpenters around here, they was building the homes and stuff like that. And then I was like, man, I was trying to why black people aren't building in Canton. So they told me, oh man, back in the day, they say when all the black people was building houses and stuff, and the white people came and they said, man, look, man, y'all ain't got the right proper license, you know what I'm saying, that y'all supposed to have, and can nobody build houses no more. So, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people, they're scared because when it comes down to stuff like that right there, even though like it be people in any position that be black be in any position.
Oh, baby, they sold to them
that's
white
right.
folks.
It's so much red tape.
I know it. And they do that. They do that every fucking where. I swear to God, they got an email list somewhere.
Right.
They got a group chat somewhere where they is no niggas allowed in there and they talking in each other. I don't know what the fuck they doing, but they doing it.
CMU actually had problem with their system. How everybody pay their bills around here, you know what I'm saying? Like me. I had it going to the automatic system, but they changed system. So when they changed the system over, I thought the bill was getting paid off the card, but it was no longer getting paid off the card. So the bill got behind, so it was like a month behind, but you still can pay like this month, and then it like rolls over to the next month. So I'm gonna show you. So I went up there, I paid my bill like I used to do the night before. So the next day was cutoff day. So when I get up there, I see it's a influx of people in the line. So I'm like, man, I done paid my bill. You know what I'm saying? What they gonna cut my lights off for?
Damn, so they done fucked up every single person in that line.
Yeah, it was like over like 75 to 100 people that came in there, and they had paid their bill, but their lights were still off, but they still made everybody pay the $50.
That sound like the same thing they doing to them folks whose bodies got found behind that damn jail in Jackson. Right. They charging them folks like $75 to get their dead remains from out the damn there, right. That they didn't tell nobody who was dead. That don't make no sense to me.
Yeah. So like that's why I'm saying it's we have so many laws and stuff around here that these laws was made at a time where black people wasn't allowed certain places. These little small towns like this, we have people that can tell you about when it get dark, you need to be in the house.
Sundown towns.
That's right. So these little small towns, 13,000 people, towns like that, but the white people, they run this town here. But you just have black people in power, and then like there's no I want to say like, I'm not saying like people are poor around here, because people are not poor. People have money, but they don't have like no powerful person that's on the leadership position. It's just everybody just like it's like a lot of like with the nonprofits and stuff like that. You have a lot of passionate people that want to help people,
but they don't have access to money or resources and shit like that.
And it's hard to get people out anyway.
Today, I'm coming from a perspective of my own. I went to jail. My father went to jail. His father went to jail. I know a lot of people that pled out to crimes they didn't do, flat out. So for me, when I read newspaper articles, they did this and that, I never believe it. I don't give a fuck what the news say. I never believe it. Even with Pooh Shiesty face in life, That's his max. He's not facing life. Everybody reads this and say, oh my God. No, he's not facing life. That's his max. That's how they put it because they want him to plea out, period. They understand that kind of control. You locked in a room, can't get the fuck out. And we saying, look, if you say you stole this bag of chips, we'll let you out today. You just got to come pay in a cup once a week. You might take that out of desperation. You know? This jail sucks, Rhonda. This sucks. It's not terrible. Like, it's not like I won't go back if I had to. You know what I mean? They eating Gucci in there. And they give you 3 meals. There's no bills, really. I mean, it feels like a break. That's what jail feels. Jail feels like a break. It feels like a break from reality. No children there. You know what I mean? You got to wake up early. But besides that, you're free to nap. You know what I mean? You're free to nap. It's not a big deal. You got a bathroom in your room. Phelps is doing this. He doesn't want me to talk about it.
You can talk about it, but you're not about to make it sound good.
Bro, it's not that bad. And it's unpopular opinion. Jail's not that bad. Boom. Not that bad. It's still not good. It ain't bad. Hey, I'm just saying. Once you wash your panties out in the sink, you pretty locked in. You like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, once you know when the chicken coming and when to take the boiled eggs, put them in your room, this shit rolling. It's rolling. Rhonda holding her fucking laugh. Hate when she do that. Let that shit out, Rhonda. Once you get to the point in jail where you got friends and you know what guard is cool, that shit ain't bad. I had a ball in jail. Shout out to FTC. Free FTC. Jail was fun for me. Okay. Unpopular opinion. Still don't go, bitches. I'm just saying, if you gotta go, put your head up. It ain't that bad. And don't plea out. Fuck that. Take it to trial. You know what I mean? Them niggas don't want to go to trial. Wherever your charges are in your little dumbass town, take that shit to trial. Walk in there with your head high. Go buy you a briefcase. Don't even put nothing in it. And put a bun in your hair. Let them niggas know you came for business. Put your fucking empty briefcase on that desk. Good evening, Your Honor. It's going to be morning. It don't matter. Let that nigga know. You know what I mean? Came here to fight, motherfucker.
Final question of the afternoon, Rasheid. What advice would you give to others who are trying to reintegrate into these communities after incarceration? I also want you to speak on these young men who are glamorizing and idolizing jail culture.
Okay. Well, I'm to get them a kind of I'm gonna just give you my story and try to get them some guidance on what to do. You know. I actually got my GED while I was in the inside. I dropped out of school in the street, didn't have education. So when I got my GED, to make a long story short, security guard was asking me, he said, man, how you feel? I was like, man, the hell is man talking about how I feel? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Shit, I walked in the zone, I called my mom. I was like, Mom, I got my GED. And she said, baby, how you feel? I said, why the hell everybody keep asking me how I feel? And she said, because you're supposed to be proud of yourself, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you got your education like all the other classmates and stuff like that right there. And man, I was like, damn. No, because I was ashamed, you know, just being real, because I didn't graduate or whatever. And I was like, damn. And it gave me a power. And I used it once I got that power, and I was proud of myself. I had never been proud of myself for doing, just being real. I really just had never felt like I had been proud of myself for doing anything, especially just knowing and acknowledging it myself. So that gave me a power, and I just, I felt like I had made my mom proud, and I just continued on that journey. So my third day out of prison, I was over to the college, trying to get in college because I had got my GED in the inside. So my stepdad, no rest in peace, James, he was like, man, you want to go back to school and see what it take to get in there? I looked at him. I said, what the fuck is this motherfucker talking about? I said, man, I'm a motherfucking dope boy. I was just giving the fuck you talking about college, you know what I'm saying? Nigga, I ain't graduated from high school. So, he was like, well, let's go. I said, fuck it, let's go. I'm just going with him, and we got over there. They sent me back there to the back to do some type of little test. I must have did real good. I was like, where you been? Like, damn. So she like, shit, you did real good on that test. So she's like, you can get anything. So I told her, I said, I want to be a barber. They said, man, we got the barber class is coming in about 2 or 3 more months, but you go ahead and get in the car, I'm gonna charge you, and we gonna flip you over to the barber. And at first I kind of skeptical, and I said, okay. So after I got in, make a long story short, after I got in school, I finished up school because one thing I knew, I didn't miss a day in prison. You know what I mean? I never missed a day at work like I was, calling in sick or whatever like that. So I didn't miss a day in college. Y'all, I wouldn't miss one day, to be honest. I didn't have my one of my papers ready that morning, so I just decided not to go to school and turn it in the next day. To be honest, but I that was the only day that I had missed out of like 18 months. So when I graduated, just being real, and I got in there to take my test, and just being real, I got in there to take my test. I aced everything, and then I got on my haircut. It was just one thing my teacher always told me to remember to do, and I forgot to do it. I raised my hand, and I failed the haircut test. And I was so embarrassed. I was ashamed. Just being real. And my mom, she came to me after about 2 years had went by, and she came to me. She told me, she said, baby, you just go back over there to the school to take till you get your license, and I'm gonna get you a barbershop. Well, she had got me a barbershop at Favor. That's why I felt so ashamed. And what's not because I didn't graduate, and she had got the shop. So this time I got my license. And and since then I just really been on it's all about making someone proud and making yourself proud and doing things that you'll be proud of, and having people like your kids, your baby mama, your wife, your mama, your daddy, and people being proud of you. So regardless of what you've been through, you're going through jail. I know a lot of people feel like, people look down on you a lot like that. But if you go ahead and get yourself up and do things that, people be proud of you doing, man, it's going to build up a strength, man, that, what I'm saying, take you on through it.
That's powerful. I love that. Damn, I'm lost for words. That's a very true, come full circle moment. And I love that for you. The only thing I really want to tell you, I think you should open up a barber college. I really do.
Well, yeah, that's something. When I was going through school, that's actually what they wanted me to do. They wanted me to just come back and get my instructor license, and then just kind of teach at the school over there.
Do it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's for you. And that'll make you so much motherfucking money, but it's not even about the money, because when you put young people in positions like that where they can learn a fucking trade that'll last a long time, not only will you bless yourself, you'll bless the whole community, and they won't forget shit like that too.
Like I said, I've been cutting hair since I was 12 years old.
Yeah, it's in you. It ain't on you. Yeah. That shit real, and I love that. I love the potential of that for you, but I still love this story. And before I let you go, is there anything you would like to say towards the young men who are trying to reintegrate into society?
Like I said, man, just do something, man, that you be proud of yourself, man. Get out, man. Get you a job, regardless, man. Your kids, man, kind of link with your kids, man. Try to, even though like a lot of these women, after you come home from jail, they done found somebody new or whatever like that right there. And I know it's hard, but you have to get a relationship with your kids. You dig? That's going to make you feel more like a man and taking care of your business. When you don't take care of your kids, you're not working in Western, you're subject to be, ashamed of yourself and do things that you're ashamed of. And when you're proud of yourself, you'll do things that'll make other people proud of you. So,
Shout out to the slaves.
Yeah, shout out to the slaves. You feel me? Shout out to Harriet Tubman.
Shout out to her. She's a real nigga.
Yeah, shout out to them Mississippi niggas. Yeah, shout out to them Mississippi niggas. Yeah, big penitentiary tractor dragging ass niggas. Yeah. And they don't talk loud. They whisper. Dangerous niggas whisper.
And shout out again to all those people who hate my guts.
Y'all are doing a justice and an effort to the world. Keep breaking these men down one at a time.
Shout out LGBTQ.
You are obsessed and sick.
And we are back with the Big Black Shout Out, the blackest shout out in the world. For those who do not know, the Big Black Shout Out is an opportunity to help circulate the Black dollar back into our communities and for audience members to explore Black-owned hidden gems. Now, Rasheid, is there anybody that you would like to shout out?
Yes. I would like to shout out Head of the Class Barbershop, Canton, Mississippi. Also, Sugar Shack Lounge here in Canton, Mississippi. Also, 2 businesses of mine. I also would like to shout out the Rail Realty. You know what I'm saying? My wife is a realty here, real estate agent here in, she's actually here in Mississippi. Yeah. So yeah, I want to get a couple shots out.
Go ahead and shout your wife out, dog.
Well, I wanted to get my wife shout out, Amy Davis House. Well, Amy House Davis.
Period.
Yeah. Over at the Rail Realty, Anita the Rail. You know what I'm saying? Real. Looking for someone to, looking for a home and someone to work with you. A lot of people know you're ashamed, to go to people, what I'm saying, for help. But these people here, they really help you. I've seen them change so many lives, the look on these people's face, they're so happy. So, go to, the Real Realty, you know what I'm saying, Amy House Davis, you know what I'm saying, try me out, Camp, Mississippi, at the Sugar Shack, and then also Head of Class Barbershop. I work almost every day.
And that's some real ass shit. Shout out to all the local black owned businesses in Canton, Mississippi. Now, if you or someone else that you know needs a shout out, make sure you're reaching out to me. That's Afrocentric Podcast at gmail.com.
Welcome to Sorta Kinda Funny. We're a comedy podcast.
Brother and sister duo.
Where we take your guys' embarrassing moments and stories and turn them into humor, because life's about laughing at yourself, and we are sure gonna laugh at ourselves. I am James. I am your main Mac Daddy host. And I'm also joined by a loser. Go ahead and introduce yourself, loser. Go ahead. Don't be shy.
This is Lauren.
Give it to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What did you say?
Also, we sing a lot, so if you haven't listened to this first episode, I'm sorry.
We have new episodes available every Thursday and would love nothing more than to hang out with you. Does that sound too desperate?
Yes.
Okay. Check us out wherever you listen to your podcasts, and we'll see you on Thursday. And as always,
text me if you want to hang out.
Bye.
This was a phenomenal episode, Chained to the City, featuring Rasheid Davis. I feel like we have done what we came to do, which is to decenter the romanticization, the idolization of the criminal justice system, as well as to portray like the realistic expectations and what life is like when you're living in that type of environment and institution. Man, I feel like I learned a lot of shit today, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you for being so fucking vulnerable and speaking your truth as well as speaking truth to power. Now, is there anything that you would like to say to the community before I let you go?
Yes. To my community right here in Camp, Mississippi, I know there has been a lot of, in this community, period, like Jackson, Mississippi, Camp, Mississippi, there's been a lot of killing and stuff, lately, with the young guys. And, I just want to say, whatever, man, y'all need to do, because it's not so far as it's gangs anymore, it's more of a little clique thing what's going on. But I'm just going to be honest, man, y'all think about that, man, for y'all take somebody else's life and shoot no gun and stuff, but it could be one of y'all ready and stuff. Don't nobody like going to no friends and stuff like that right there. And it's sad, and that the condition that, it's around the area, metro areas is going through, with the guns and the violence and all this here, It's really a shame we losing. I think we just had like 2 people that got killed in the last week right here. Well, 2 people. 3 people died, but 1 person died from overdose. Yeah,
that's powerful. I hope that them niggas heed that word for real. Put the switches down,
right,
and pick up a Bible.
And I want to say, too, because I'm a part of the SPLC African Institute, the Reentry Coalition, and also the Change Collective. There's people out here, man, everything you can think about, man, to help y'all, man. Just like those groups that I just named just then, there's a lot of other ones that's, associated with it. Man, y'all try to give us on these nonprofits, man, and try to make your way up out of this. It's help. I swear to God, it's help out here. And I know a lot of y'all don't know it, but, just try to seek y'all some help, man. Look more, forward from just right there in y'all community, man, because it's more than your community. For real.
Thank you, Rasheid. Thank you for choosing to be Afrocentric today.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I appreciate you. And for my listeners today, I want to thank you guys for choosing to be Afrocentric today. A few things before we close up the episode. Please remember that Black lives do matter. Make sure to listen in to protect Black women and children. And the only thing that you must do in this lifetime is be Black and die. Now, here at the Afrocentric podcast, we're just civilized people having civilized conversations. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye. You gonna say bye?
Oh, yeah, we out there.
What up, homie? You know I'm with you right or wrong. Just hope you know I miss you and I wish you hurry home. Your children getting big in a minute, they gon' be grown. I know just how you feel, your baby mama be like, what up with you, homie? You know I'm with you right or wrong. I just hope you know I miss you and I wish you hurry home. Know my schedule done got hectic when I don't pick up the phone. You know it kill me when you stressing, I can hear it in your tone. Want my family back together, I just pray it don't be long. I just put together this letter and stuck it in a song. The ones you love the most will be the ones that do you wrong. I just put together this letter and stuck it in a song. This ain't nothing, my nigga. Bitch, you know I'm out here. I'm all in the visitation room. You know, shirt bust open, you heard me? For real life. Listening everywhere. Earrings in my necklace and my wrist, they look like Fenrir. I just bought food for the whole compound, you heard me? I ain't really in the shining. I just do that shit for my ass. Real niggas up the road that hold it down on the jokes. I just pray you don't be too long.
Hey, free BA.
Nah, free BA on game.
Hey,
free shorty, y'all. On the guys.
Yeah, free all of them.
But he probably did free shorty on game. We don't know
every nigga.
We don't want nobody in jail. We don't want nobody in jail.
But I'm saying,
man,
free my biggest eye. How many murders you beat?
Come on, gang. We ain't gonna speak upon that.